come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit DanielNelsonMD.com. That's DanielNelsonMD.com.
Stop struggling to get your job posts seen on other job sites. Indeed's Sponsored Jobs feature helps you stand out and hire fast. Start at Indeed.com/credit.
Thank you for making Total Wine & More America's #1 online source for spirits, beer, and wine. Better than all those delivery apps. Total Wine's prices are up to 30% lower with super fast delivery and no hidden fees. Order direct at TotalWine.com and pay less today.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle. This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Cammie McCormick. President Trump spoke to Russia's president today about ending the war in Ukraine, but as Stacey Lynn reports, Trump appears to be leaving it up to them to continue the negotiations.
He spoke with President Putin by phone for over 2 hours, describing the call as excellent. After the talks, Putin told Russian media they were ready to continue discussing an end to the fighting, but he indicated there was no major breakthrough in what he termed a very informative and very frank conversation. He said they need to find compromises that would suit all parties. President Trump says he also spoke today with Ukrainian President Zelensky and other European leaders after he had grown frustrated with both sides over the continuing war. Stacey Lynn, CBS News, the White House.
We heard today from former President Biden after his diagnosis of aggressive prostate cancer. CBS's Natalie Brand.
Former President Biden posted on social media a picture of himself and the former First Lady, writing, "Cancer touches us all. Like so many of you, Jill and I have learned that we are strongest in the broken places. Thank you for lifting us up with love and support."
Israel allowed aid into Gaza today for the first time since the ceasefire collapsed. Etan Bartal of Israel's foreign ministry.
The purpose of the aid is to help the population, not to support Hamas.
Only 5 trucks were allowed in. That number was 600 a day before March. VA-funded research conducted at Harvard has become a casualty of the administration's decision to cancel billions in federal grants. Christopher Cruz has that.
The VA and Harvard have been working to develop a program that helps VA emergency room doctors decide if they should hospitalize suicidal veterans. In emails reviewed by the New York Times, a VA research official says canceling the contract would result in, quote, more veteran suicides that could have been prevented. That official asked the agency's leaders to reverse their decision to cancel the contract, but an advisor to the VA secretary said the research could be done at other institutions.
There is a massive cleanup ahead after severe storms in eastern Kentucky. Tina Carnes has devoted herself to helping others. Now her home is gone after a tornado.
It's done a 180 on me. Yeah, so I need help right now. I've lost everything.
Jim Krasula has more on a wildfire in eastern Arizona.
The fire has destroyed several homes and buildings, prompted evacuations, and closed major roads.
I feel sorry for the people who have to evacuate. We packed up. We're ready to go if they come and tell us to leave.
The cause of the out-of-control wildfire that started a week ago is unknown.
Checking the numbers on Wall Street, the Dow Jones Industrial's currently up 93 points. This is CBS News.
Progressive Insurance. Progressive can protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, RV, and more. In short, a lot of things. Bundle today at Progressive.com.
Seattle's police chief expected to talk about the latest mass shooting in the city. The story coming up, but first from the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk. In the Olympia area, the crash has been cleared from the on-ramp to northbound 101. Your backup is starting to break up. Travel time Lacey to Olympia is now 17 minutes, still about 10 longer than typical. Other travel times are nearly normal after a morning of rain delays. You are slow from the Tiger Mountain Summit up to I-90 due to construction. Traffic brought to you by Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. Learn more at globalcu.org.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Heather Bosch. Tacoma police say teams are digging in the backyard of a home and that it's part of a cold case investigation. They're not giving details. Neighbors tell KIRO News Radio this began last month and they seen FBI agents in that yard. One of the most notorious cold cases in the city is the disappearance of 2-year-old Tika Lewis from a bowling alley in 1999. Now, at the time, the home where teams are digging now was owned by a family with the surname Lewis. No confirmation on whether there's a connection there. Seattle Police Chief Sean Barnes is expected to speak any moment about a mass shooting in the Pioneer Square neighborhood. KIRO 7 TV Samantha Lomibow says it happened early Saturday at Washington Street and 2nd Avenue South.
This exact spot was the scene of a shooting that left 3 people dead and 1 person in the hospital fighting for their life.
I just heard rapid gunshot fires, like it just happened rapidly. Brrr, bah, 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 bah. And then it was over just like that. And then before you know it.
The people I talked to say they're staying vigilant.
No word on a motive or suspects. SPD Chief Sean Barnes says he'll speak about this around noon. In Federal Way, an 18-year-old was shot dead during a fight with his ex-girlfriend, and an 11-year-old was struck and injured by a stray bullet as he lay in his own bed. This woman, who lives in the apartment complex, tells KIRO 7 TV she heard gunshots early Saturday.
Went to my bed, 5 minutes, bam, bam. Like 20.
The child was taken to Harborview and is in stable condition. The suspect is on the loose. Family members of the victims in 2 deadly MAX plane crashes say they're furious this Department of Justice might drop criminal charges against Boeing. The crash is blamed in part on a flight navigation system, killed 346 people 6 years ago. Yesterday marked 45 years since the deadly eruption of Mount St. Helens, and of the region's active volcanoes, it's still the most likely to erupt again, but it's hard to predict when. Wes Thielen is at the Cascades Volcano Observatory.
All we can do is be prepared and get as much monitoring equipment out in advance of any unrest so that we can look for the earliest signs of unrest at any one of those volcanoes.
This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Cloudy skies today with highs around 60. It's 59 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News. It's the all-new Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio.
Behold, a fiendish masterpiece from the bowels of hell! Yeah. Mondays, boy, I hate Mondays. They make me so steamed. Weekends, I go for the weekends. Son of a
And a son of a bleep to you, Spike.
Happy son of a bleep to you too, my friend.
Thank you very much.
Oh, God,
thank
I love
you very much.
I look forward to that.
Me too. Kicks our Monday off every day.
When Friday afternoon comes, and I know we're going to not be able to do this for a couple days, I go into a funk.
Me too.
And I think about that opening on Mondays, and it just gets me through.
It does
get me through these long weekends.
Those
of not being able to work.
Arduous.
I don't know how people do it.
Banal.
Oh,
boring weekends.
Empty, hollow.
Meaningless.
All right, welcome back, buddy.
Welcome back to work.
Oh, work.
Get to work.
Yes.
Let's get to work.
America's working again, buddy.
Yeah, they are. Can I express? I'm normally a pretty energetic person.
You are,
but I'll tell you what. This is how I'm feeling right now, and I'll explain to you why. But I wanted to. I said to myself, right before the show, how can I express myself musically in a way that's going to relate to the audience, where they're going to go instantly, Jake's feeling good.
Okay.
Jake's feeling real good.
I like this.
And then I'm going to explain to you why. And here's the music that I picked. You know me, I love the Lord, so I'll also a nice song, but it really does.
We got a new pope or something? What happened?
Nope. Tell you what the reason is. Guess what just ended? All of my sports seasons for all my kids.
Woo! Oh my goodness.
Okay, so this weekend was the culmination of. So I'm coaching my son's football team.
Right.
Coach of the year, no big deal. Not actually.
It's a voting in yet because it's a landslide. Other coach should be embarrassed.
In their hearts, assistant coach of the year, I should say. Do they have such a reward?
I think they do.
Such an award.
I was up for once, didn't get it.
So, and what was his name? Tim. Kamala's guy.
Oh, Tim Walz.
Me and Tim Walz. Assistant coach of the year.
Yeah.
All right. So
in charge of Verve.
My son's flag football team they're done with the season. We have a tournament still, which is one thing. It's fine.
Okay.
But it's not till after Memorial Day. And my other son's baseball team is also ended this weekend. We still have a tournament somewhere on the horizon. Those dates haven't been settled yet.
Fair enough.
But this is the time of year where every parent listening, they know this feeling when they look out at their schedules and they see daylight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it often comes with summer. Now, there are some people. I'm not one of those people. My wife's not one of those people who choose to fill all of your extra time during the summer with sports and athletic pursuits.
Okay.
And teams and such.
Yeah.
I'm not dogging you people.
No.
It's not for us. We have too many kids. We can't do it. We're pulled in too many directions. I was doing at least 4 or 5 nights a week.
Wow.
In sports because baseball has 3 nights a week. Football has 3 days a week. And it's never on the same day. There's one day crossover. Usually it's Saturday. But the other days I don't know how it ended up, but they were just all split. So we were just every single night of the week, we're in different spots.
Let me ask you this, and I'm glad of your newfound freedom. Oh my God! No other word for it. I can see how you feel that way. There's an aura about you, an aura of rest and an ease of knowing that you're anxiety free.
Right.
Like your chakra is a light blue today.
If somebody's watching on the YouTube cam, that's so kind of you to say that. You're the second person to notice that about me.
Yeah.
Somebody else said that about me too. They said, you look like you're glowing.
Yeah.
And I thought it's actually high blood pressure from all of my sports activities.
You're overscheduling?
That will come down. The doctor assures
There's
me
a
that
pill
will
for
come
that.
down. But yes,
your
you were
legs
about
shake,
to say.
but small price to pay. Did your boys enjoy the experience of team sports?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, they loved it. They love it.
Well, that's the thing.
And they're bummed it's over.
Yeah.
But they don't know mom and dad are tossing a few back celebrating.
That's because that's your job is to front, is to put up. Whatever it takes to make your boys' lives better.
Of course.
That's what it takes to be a good parent these days. I ask if they enjoyed it because the future is going to become. I hate to breathe. I don't even want to tell you. I don't even want to tell you what the future brings.
Well, tell me. I'm feeling good. Tell me. I can take anything.
I want this good feeling to last. I don't want to whiz on your aura, as they say.
No,
it's a biblical term, by the way.
My aura is whiz-proof.
Okay, got a raincoat on your aura. Great.
Go.
Summers, as you look like a natural athlete. I bet you were just born athletic.
I was born with a ball in my hand.
I bet your wife also. I know she was a soccer player, right? For
She's
quite a while.
She's a very good athlete too. She's actually. It's nice of you to say. It's nice of you to say. I'm actually just thin.
Oh, okay.
I'm not a natural athlete.
Okay.
No, I'd like to believe I was, but
if your boys enjoyed what they were doing,
yeah,
and I know they're going to be good at it and get nothing but better with the kind of coaching they're receiving.
Oh yeah,
did that?
Yeah.
Your summers are going to become crazy.
It's going to get busy.
I see you guys as one of those traveling team parents, those kind of road trip, tournament, out of state.
It's funny you should say that because no way in hell. No, there's just, honestly, I can't do that. I can't. I don't have the bandwidth for that. I just don't.
Yeah.
And this is a real issue that a lot of parents and a lot of people have to make that decision. And now people are listening to me right now and they're going like, all right, this guy's talking a big game, but as soon as his kids have some
give you those eyes,
more success
Dad,
and exactly.
I was selected.
I made the VIP team or whatever, the All-Star
the travel team. I'm on a select team.
That's how bad I was.
We got
a
tournament in Idaho coming up this weekend, Dad. Can I borrow the car keys? So that's I know so many parents.
Right.
I know so many parents who spent, and that's wonderful to be able to give your kids the kind of support that they need to flourish. And because not everybody goes up to play in the bigs. Not everybody goes up to be a pro athlete and get endorsement deals.
In fact, 99.99999% of you won't.
Right. But every kid who plays team sports, I think, garners valuable life lessons from those experiences.
Oh, of course.
Everyone. So it's worthwhile for kids to his athletic endeavors to be supported by a parent.
Losing as a team is a wonderful lesson to learn for a kid. rather than losing on your own. When you lose on your own, it's a depressing, lonely feeling. You lose as a team, and suddenly you're like surrounded by people, and you're like, all right, this isn't so bad because we're still together, still have the people I love, yada, yada, yada.
My kids, they played sports both, but we never really kind of drove them in that direction. We let them, I did.
You don't want to push them. You want to let them.
I got to make a confession here, though, because I honestly steered them toward a hobby that wasn't
travel.
Yeah.
Good for you.
I got them into mining at an early age. Do it right in the backyard. Build those skills, right?
That's really smart.
I mean, and those two, both of them, like moles.
You need them to dig a hole?
Right.
You call Spike's kids.
I'm telling you. We got a bunker. We had 2 bunkers in our backyard.
Really?
Yeah, kids just felt like summer project.
Unbelievable.
How about a bunker? Yay, they
Senior
said.
project,
You
bunkers.
bet. Bunkers.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, thanks. And no travel. I've never taken my kid to a road game.
Just straight down.
Straight down.
Just go straight down.
In the backyard. You know? Sure, you got to buy a few 6x6 beams every once in a while, but that's the price you pay.
A bunker actually would be really fun to build with your kids. It sounds like a psycho talking, but like a bunker actually would be really fun.
Do it on Minecraft first. See if they like
good
it.
advice. It's good advice. It's good advice. Should we move on to some actual news?
That'd be great. I bet the audience would enjoy that.
Did you see this new Seattle ordinance? I don't know if this is going to work. It's to curb violence.
Yeah.
There's been a bunch of violence lately. There was a shooting in Pioneer Square. I think 3 people died, right? In the shooting in Pioneer Square. And then yesterday there was a knife attack in Belltown.
Yeah.
Awful.
Saw the news on that one.
4:45 in the afternoon, some guy gets off the bus and he's approached by somebody on the street, couple people on the street, and they want whatever food he's got in his hand. They demand it. He says no, probably something delicious. And they take a knife out and they stab him in the chest. He's at Harborview. He's in critical condition. We don't know how he's going to be. I hope he's going to be fine. But scary stuff going on. So they're trying to curb down on this violence. The second story we told you, the food attack, I feel like is, I don't know, it doesn't really apply to this ordinance thing.
Okay.
Because the ordinance thing is supposed to be about after 2 a.m.
Right.
When the bars get out, where do people go?
Yeah.
And here's the thing. My old man, he gave me this advice when I was a kid. And most people get this advice, although the time varies depending on what age you are.
I know the same. I got the same advice. The old man bought the same handbooks your old man
Let's
did.
say it at the exact same time.
Okay.
On the count of 3, and after 3, let's say the advice that our old men both gave us.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Nothing good happens after 9 p.m.
9 p.m. Oh, so your old man started earlier.
He started earlier.
You know, you start with
12 p.m.
midnight. Nothing good happens after midnight was the old man's mantra.
Totally true.
Right?
By the way.
And as you evolved, then we got legislators saying nothing good happens after 2 a.m.
No, but they're saying good stuff does happen after 2 a.m., and that's the problem I have with this ordinance. Listen to this. This is Erin Goodman. She's the executive director of the Soto Business Improvement Area, talking to Como News and talking about this ordinance, which would help seek to establish rules for establishments who want to stay open after 2 a.m.
Right.
When I was a kid, going to bars, the bar closes at 2 a.m. That's like that's
it. That's when the day is over. That's when the day is over.
It's over. The new day is 3 hours away.
Right.
Go home.
Right.
But for whatever reason, they want to stretch it out, and so this is.
There's money to be made. Businesses are operating in these after-hours facilities, and this ordinance is to put more restrictive guidance over these facilities,
Me
requiring
and my
them to
dad
have.
and your dad, we don't like this.
No, my man's spinning. Right
My
now.
guess is that we're not going to see instant compliance. These businesses have been operating in this gray area outside the law literally for years. What does enforcement look like? Well, if this law allows them, if they see a venue operating after 2 a.m., to enter.
So you would be able to go in as a law enforcement or however they would penalize these companies or these businesses. Establishments. If it's after 2 a.m. and you're still serving alcohol,
right? Well,
it's illegal. You're not allowed to do it.
There goes your license.
Yeah, like some penalty. They would also be able to, I would imagine they'd be able to shut you down. You can't stay open. I mean, I don't know how much money these people are going to make, but they are going to require you to still check IDs, even though if it's like, say, 2:30 rolls around, somebody wants to come into your place.
Yeah.
Even though you can't buy a drink, you still got to show an ID.
No wonder if that's an 18 or older, or you have to be just a consenting adult after 2 since there's no alcohol consumed.
You have to stop.
You got to be 21.
This, according to Como, has this some details. This Goodman lady says this. You have to stop serving alcohol, but you still need to have ID checks. You still have to have trained security, and you still need to cooperate with law enforcement.
Yeah, those seem very reasonable to me.
They seem reasonable, but this idea that people are going to find something worth spending their time on between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m., I disagree that that's going to be very valuable to people in Seattle. And I don't know if, whatever. I don't think it's going to hurt anybody, the ordinance. It is an extra thing now they're tacking on.
Yeah.
It's an extra regulation. It's an extra way for them to go in and police these places or fine them or whatever they're going to do.
Right.
They already can't serve alcohol after 2 a.m. And if they want to stay open, which it sounds like they already have the ability to do, they just can't serve alcohol, then I don't understand what the ordinance is actually accomplishing.
It's just some kind of accountability to these places. Because we had the hookah, that hookah lounge had multiple incidents after after 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And there was inadequate security, there was inadequate surveillance on the facilities, and inadequate accountability.
Sure.
And now if you are in there and the officers can come in and check IDs, check if you're serving alcohol, make spot checks on these places. And it's the fear of being caught, the only thing that polices people to do the right thing. It's the fear of consequence.
I think they should hire a bunch of dads. I think they should hire like some old, sage-looking dads who just stand at the door when somebody wants to watch. Let's say it's 2:30 a.m.
Okay.
And you and I can volunteer for this,
Sure.
although I don't stay up
I
that
work
late.
a shift. I do a stand-along.
Would you?
Yeah, you bet I would.
Okay, so we dress up as dads.
I got all the gear you need.
You got all the gear?
I got the worst back cargo shorts.
Do you got the grass
sandals and
stains,
socks?
New Balance?
Of course I do.
Yeah, so do
Of course
I.
I do.
Absolutely.
It's what you wear.
So we stand in front of the door and we say, "Hey there, buddy." Like what? If somebody walks up to you, 2:30 a.m. You got a couple young guys out on the town, a couple wild and crazy guys, and they're looking for some fun. They're not going to get any alcohol in here. Now, what's your advice to them? They come up to you, you're standing by. What's your advice to them?
Gentlemen, see some ID, please. Thanks very much. What brings you in the club tonight? Not ready to go home? I understand. Sure. A trouble with your dad? Something you want to talk? You want to need an ear to listen to, my friend?
Nice. Come
on inside. Sure, you can have inside. How about a pop? How about a fizz? How about a chocolate fizz?
You want a soda pop?
Step up to the soda bar. Oh, soda jerk, I say.
Serve some milk.
What's my favorite? The chocolate seltzer cream. Fizz it up there in one of those fluted glasses with a stem on it. Put a long straw in there, maybe. Extra cherry from my guys here. We're having a little talk about life.
Shirley Temple.
Right?
Question for you. Are you imagining these people in the 1950s?
Sure.
I feel like maybe you are.
That's when
Do they have cigarettes rolled up in their sleeves?
And their hair slicked back?
Their hair slicked
White
back?
T-shirts, jeans.
Are you calling them greasers?
Ne'er-do-wells. Not to their face. I called them gentlemen. I want them to know that I respect them as young men making poor choices.
You should send them home. You should be like, listen, fellas, like nothing good happens after 2 a.m.
Nothing good.
Go
Nothing
home.
good.
And it really won't.
I don't
Like
know what
any
happened
girl.
between you and your mom and pop, but trust me when I tell you they love you. They want only the best for you. They spoke to me about this.
The only reason young guys are out, I'm just assuming this is all young men.
Sure.
I can't imagine young women are actually out doing.
Oh, have you got a lot to learn, my friend?
At 2 a.m.?
You bet. Those
Young
ladies,
women.
It's a modern world we live in, my friend.
I don't like it.
Wrought with danger and
don't like it.
temptation.
Sophia, you're in with us today. Laura's out.
Some
Sophia,
of them, their
you're
shirts
young.
unbuttoned down to here.
No,
I kid
don't
you
talk
not.
like that. Don't
Kid
talk
you
like
not.
that. I'm a married man. That's disgusting. Sophia, how old are you?
23.
You're 23. Okay, so you fit right into this whole
So
conversation.
ID, please. With standards, continuity.
2 a.m. rolls around. You're out at a bar. Don't tell the audience where you live or any of that. I know you wouldn't, but you're out at a bar. It's 2 a.m. Are you going home after that? Or are you seeking more entertainment at 2 a.m.?
I mean, I think it depends on where you're at. I know a lot of people that will keep wanting to go
going.
out after 2 a.m.
Big
You know, someone like wrote in the text line, like at 2 a.m. you go to Denny's, which in my mind,
Food is a driving
that's
force.
that's kind of where I'm at. But I
Something to
do
soak
have
up all that liquor.
I do have a lot of friends that stay out late, or they get caught up in the moment and they're out for a very long time. I don't necessarily know if having them open later is a solution, though.
Yeah. Doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense.
Here's the thing. This is a Band-Aid. This is a Band-Aid trying to solve a deep wound problem in my mind. Because kids start their nights. Sophie, if you don't mind me us digging into your resource of youth here, what time do you start your night out?
11.
Yeah, 10 o'clock. 10, yeah.
11?
It's insane.
10?
I did the same. You did the same thing. I did the same thing.
I know. That's why we were out till 4 or 5 in the morning.
Now I look back and I go, that's insane.
It is. And so it's my point being, they're going to do stuff after hours.
They're
better
not. They shouldn't.
We can't get them to start their night at 7.
What are they
Remember in It's a
after?
Wonderful Life?
No, but
they
what
went
do
to the sock hop. It was 7 o'clock at night.
That's right.
Bedtime.
And then they sang a chorus on the way home. They actually sang a cappella all the way home. And they fell in love.
No trouble.
No trouble.
No trouble at all. Then the war came.
Unfortunately, his dad also had
his dad had a heart attack. I guess.
No good deal. It's a bad deal. Don't stay out late. That's my advice. That's my
I
advice
hear
to
you,
everyone.
but I don't know if we're
Sophia,
gonna-
I'd give the
I'm
same
gonna
advice.
Put that toothpaste back in the tube.
You're not going to meet. The only reason that you go out anyway is you're trying to meet somebody. It's
Yeah,
usually the case.
yeah.
Every time I went out before I was married, I was thinking to myself, I'm looking around. There might be my wife in here
She
tonight.
might be in here.
She might be in
If
here.
you met the love of your life and you've been happily married, raising a family, and you met after 2 in the morning, text us. I
Yeah.
want to meet you.
We're not going to get any text.
I want to meet that guy. I met my wife at 4 o'clock in the morning. She was face down in a grand slam.
And I said, this is
That's
the one
for me.
This is the one. Yikes. All right.
Open phone lines.
This is exciting. When we come back, should we pop down to Studio B?
Yes.
The red light
yes.
district, some people are calling it. Mike Leco is going to join us. There's a lot of buzz in the air about a certain player who was drafted by the Seahawks, and some people are comparing him to one of the great quarterbacks in the league, if not the greatest quarterback right now. Does he actually have potential to reach that? We'll find out. Mike Leco is going to join us next. Stick around. We'll be right back.
This hour is brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino.
Why local news matters.
KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey is here.
So in April, we did a story on this rehab facility called Pushing Boundaries. They've helped thousands of people recovering from brain injuries on the brink of closing shop. After months of dwindling donations, when just days later, they started getting donations and they raised $200,000 they needed thanks to our listeners to stay open.
KIRO News Radio.
We've got some great listeners out there.
On 97.3 FM. And download the KIRO News Radio app.
Comcast Business is celebrating Small Business Month by giving you a $1,000 small business bonus when you switch to a qualifying gig speed package from the company with over 99.99% network reliability. Just imagine the thousands of possibilities of a $1,000 prepaid card. Like possibility number 1. Company merch for staff. Styling. Or possibility number 24, the latest software. Upgrade. Or possibility number 192, new equipment powered by gig speeds. Or possibility number 555, a 3D printer. Rapid prototyping, anyone? Switch to Comcast Business for over 99.99% network reliability, advanced cybersecurity, and now get started with a $1,000 small business bonus. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
In 6/22/25, new customers only with 2-year agreement. Other restrictions apply.
Saving for retirement was tough enough for us.
Yes, and navigating markets can be challenging at times.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we take a disciplined approach with your investments.
Tell us more about that.
We take an active approach to money management, positioning your portfolio for opportunities we see ahead.
So all your clients get the same portfolio?
No, we tailor your portfolio to your individual goals and needs.
What about communication? We don't like being left in the dark.
We check in regularly to keep you informed on the markets and your portfolio.
Which means you'll help us stay on track.
Yes, our goal is your comfortable retirement. And as a fiduciary, we always put your interests first, because we do better when you do better. At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
The old throne's not too well, and ooh, does it smell?
DayandNight.net. Hi, I'm Bruce, General Manager of Day and Night Plumbing and Heating. Over the past 70 years, I think we've seen every drain clog out there. If your pipes aren't draining, I promise you, our experienced technicians will find the issue, the right solution, and do it at a fair price. We'll work harder than anyone to earn your trust.
Call Day and Night to save $50 off any drain cleaning.
DayandNight.net.
There are 5 things money can do for you: growth, liquidity, cash flow, protection, and tax advantages. Don't miss an opportunity because your current retirement plan only focuses on 2 or 3 of them. Hi, Jeff here with Madrona Financial and CPAs. Don't settle for a partial plan. Get the real deal by requesting your no-cost Madrona analysis today and discover what you may be missing. Call 833-673-7373 right now to request your analysis. That's 833-673-7373.
Have you heard the saying, chuck in a truck? The guy running a roofing company out of his messy pickup? Well, here's the scary part. Washington doesn't require a test or experience to be a licensed roofer, and they definitely don't require a brick and mortar location. Chuck could be working out of his apartment with 0 employees, hiring random guys off the street. Yikes. And the SBA says 90% of roofers are out of business within 5 years. Jim here, Chief Roof Nerd at RoofSmart, where we do things right. We have a real location on Central Avenue in Kent and a team of 50 full-time roofing pros who actually know what they're doing. We're not some fly-by-night outfit. We've put down roots. or in our case, a cement foundation, so you'll always know where to find us. No disappearing acts, no cut corners, just top quality work from people you can trust. That's RoofSmart. Come see for yourself or call us at 206-487-4877 or visit us online at GetRoofSmart.com. That's 206-487-4877 or GetRoofSmart.com.
Cars for Kids, your trusted charity for car donations, also accepts donations of boats, RVs, motorcycles, and real estate. Call today, 877-CARS4KIDS.
Time is running out to save during our preseason AC sale happening now at Bob's Heating and Air Conditioning. Don't miss your chance to save 10% on a new air conditioner, heat pump, or ductless system to keep your home cool all summer long. Join thousands of satisfied customers and put your trust in the team voted best in the Pacific Northwest year after year. Hurry and call Bob's for your free AC estimate today.
Bob's Heating and Air Conditioning. Call Bob.
Hi, it's John Curley. Longevity Medical Clinic is your best plan for long-term well-being and personalized health care. Dr. Mixon, let me ask you a question. How long have some of your patients been working with you?
And we've got patients now that have been with us for over 20 years that are in their 90s who came to us in their 60s. The grandparents now in their 90s are living independently. They're not on walkers, they're not on canes, they're not headed for nursing homes.
I meet people and they ask about, wow, you're in great shape. You have 12% body fat and stuff. What's the secret? I said, it's not a secret. Longevity Medical Clinic has been there for 25 years. There is no secret to the fact that if you make those small changes, you avoid the big, bad, horrible stuff that most of us just think, well, this is what's supposed to happen to me.
And if you're heading downhill and you don't change your direction, you're going to continue going downhill. And what we do at Longevity is we redirect you and we take you back up the hill.
So get your free health analysis. Go to longevitymedicalclinic.com. That's longevitymedicalclinic.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. A cold case brings detectives to the backyard of a Tacoma home. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch is there and joins us live. James?
Heather, neighbors are starting to gather in front of this home, and there are about a half a dozen people digging in the backyard under a tent. Now, Tacoma police will only tell us that this is related to a cold case. Ironically, the home is just a short trip from the bowling alley where 2-year-old Tika Lewis disappeared 26 years ago. Now, we got calls into Tacoma police and the FBI as neighbors tell me they have seen agents here over the past couple of weeks. We will bring you more information as it becomes available. Live in Tacoma, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Seattle Police Chief Sean Barnes just spoke about the mass shooting in Seattle's Pioneer Square neighborhood early Saturday. 3 people died, 1 was injured.
We do not, will not tolerate violence in our city.
He says police are searching for a Tesla that was seen in the area where the shooting happened. The SPD also plans to increase patrols there. Starting today, there are new rules for private after-hour clubs that operate in Seattle. It's an effort to curb violence like the deadly shooting at a Rainier Beach hookah lounge earlier this year. At the time, City Council member Mark Sullivan said,
I am tired of adding another name to the list of people who have died at these establishments.
Under the rules, clubs will need at least 2 security guards and video surveillance to operate. And starting today, there are changes for Washington Middle School after a child was hit and killed by a car in March. KIRO 7 TV's Jason Sloss with more on that.
Seattle Department of Transportation will close the street in front of the school to most traffic for most of the day. Bright orange and white barricades will go up on both ends of 20th Place South. The street will close down to parent drop-offs. Only buses and people walking or on bikes will be allowed from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. on weekdays.
Former President Biden has been diagnosed with an aggressive form of prostate cancer that has spread to his bones. More from CBS's Willie James Inman.
In a statement from his team, they're essentially saying that this is treatable, that they can treat this cancer, and that the former president is evaluating his options with his family and his doctor.
On Wall Street, the Dow is up 65 points. NASDAQ is down 41. From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk in the Olympia area, that crash has been cleared from the on-ramp to northbound 101, and your backup is all but gone. Travel time Lacey to Olympia is nearly on target now at 8 minutes. You are slow from the Tiger Mountain Summit up to I-90 due to construction. Travel times much recovered from earlier slowdowns due to rain. Everett to Seattle will take you about 33 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle 21, Renton to Bellevue 13. Traffic brought to you by Home Comfort Alliance. 18 months, same as cash financing, and up to 15% off all heat pumps and air conditioners through March. HomecomfortAlliance.com. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Cloudy today with highs around 60. It's 59 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the show. We're very excited to welcome one of our favorite guests on the show. Mike Leco joins us now. Mike, how you doing?
Great to be with you guys here. We're all together. Look at us.
We're all together?
We're all together.
We're very close.
We're very close.
You guys are watching on YouTube.
I like to
right
think
now.
we're close.
If you'd like to buy us a second camera so we can step away from each other, donate now to the number across the bottom of your
We're
screen.
just going to stand this close the entire time.
All right, I know we didn't tell Mike why it goes something on. This is going to be one of the greatest episodes ever recorded.
You just set it on the table. It doesn't matter for the listening audience.
Knock it off. See, that's what being close does.
This is exciting. People are very excited. I was on X over the weekend, formerly known as Twitter, talking about the Seahawks, which you're here to talk about. Tell us what everybody's thinking about the Seahawks right now.
What are they thinking? What were you seeing? I've got you so excited.
Milrow. I think people are excited about Milrow. I had 2 conversations over the weekend.
Okay.
People said, can you believe
So
it?
that excitement has sustained then because they were excited after the draft. They were excited after rookie minicamp. Nothing's happening right now, but it's good that people are still excited because he's got that potential.
How good is he going to be?
Well, okay, yes. So that's this is the excitement about his potential, about what he could be, because the Seahawks finally took a quarterback. I think if you're excited about what he could be this year, that's a little bit of a fallacy. He's not going to be much this year. You didn't draft him to be your quarterback this season because you have Sam Darnold, because he is raw. He has the physical running tools. He has raw passing ability. He's got a great arm, but he's not going to step in and be NFL ready. There's the tinkering and the coaching and the acclimation he's going to have to be. So the hope is he's one of these guys that then develops 2 or 3 years into a franchise quarterback that everyone searches for. I mean, that's the goal of the NFL. You search for that franchise quarterback. So if he becomes that, there's a good reason to be excited.
I heard, was he a third-round pick or fourth?
Third-round pick.
Third-round pick.
Yeah, number 92.
I saw some things also, along with Jake here, that the Seahawks are already talking about putting packages in, even this year, where he could be an instant weapon in various game situations.
Yeah, and that's more kind of running or change of pace. So it wouldn't be lead a team down the field, pass the ball, but it would be that change of
pistol
pace.
formation when a guy comes in, not quite the shotgun, but he's...
it depends on the format.
Right.
Depends on the formation. So yeah, just to have him in there is a good way to be excited, but that would be so minuscule in the overall terms of the offense. So I think if it's excited about that, yes.
Have you guys heard comparisons between him and Lamar Jackson?
Yes.
Do you think those are accurate? Or is
I think that's unfair.
Wishful thinking?
Because
unfair. Why is it unfair?
Right now it's unfair to him. Because Lamar Jackson is the best quarterback in the league. Among that tier.
It's a nice comparison.
So there's the hope, but if you're putting that on a guy right now, then all of a sudden, if all he becomes is a good quarterback, and say, well, that's a disappointment. He's not Lamar Jackson. But the thought is, if that's the potential because he has the mobility first, and you can really change the passing, you can coach that into him, that's what Lamar Jackson becomes so good at. He's become such a great passer that that's why you see, run first quarterback can develop into it. Now you don't look excited anymore.
Not in Jackson's career either. He came in, wasn't known for his passing ability. People were telling him that he should be converted to a wide receiver in the NFL. People who are supposed to know what they're talking about were saying this.
People are idiots.
How much of a luxury is it to have a guy like Milrow? Milrose or Milrow?
Milrow.
Because I keep getting it wrong because now it's in my head and I'll never get it right again. But when I shake his hand, I'll blow it. What a luxury it is.
Milrose?
That's him.
That's a great call him, yeah.
He had the TV show, Milrose Place. But it was the apostrophe S that threw me off. So the luxury of having a guy with this kind of upside, who you don't need to be a starting quarterback, you don't need to be something you rely on a regular basis. He can learn and be coached up. That is quite a luxury.
And I think that's why they took him. That's why they went and took him in the 3rd round. You had that tantalizing potential. Right. You had a guy that it's a great pick if it pans out. If it doesn't, if you ultimately are just using him in packages and nothing more than that, then all you wasted was a 3rd round pick, where you already had some draft capital because you traded DK, you traded Geno. So this wasn't a pick where you might have needed someone in that position. They had him fall all the way there to 92. You wouldn't have taken him in the 1st or 2nd round. But sitting there,
I wouldn't have.
It's a luxury. So it can develop and you can see, hey, does it pan out? No, okay. If it does, it's a steal.
Lamar's great potential.
Yes, exactly. That late, yes.
So we all agree he's going to be Lamar Jackson this season. That's great.
Okay, Jake said it. I don't know if anyone else agrees.
Lamar who?
Exactly.
Jalen.
Exactly.
Milrose.
We got it. Seattle Mariners, how they doing? What are they looking like?
See, that's the exciting thing. I thought we were coming to talk about that.
Let's talk about that.
They just swept the Padres, and the Padres had the best record in baseball before that, or one of the best
bounce
records.
back after not a great showing against the Yankees.
Well, and then the Blue Jays before that.
Swept before. They lost 5 of 6 going
So
into the series.
that was the most stunning result, is that you come off this homestand where it looks like, well, your offense finally ran out of steam. They've had no pitching. They had to put another starter on the IL. So down 3 starters, not having the best offense, going to play the Padres, who are better than the Blue Jays or the Yankees, and then they sweep them, and they hold the Padres to 3 total runs. They got great pitching, and it all comes down to that. They had enough offense and incredible starting pitching.
I heard Jay Wilson checked them into one of those motels where you're guaranteed to have a good night's sleep and a free buffet. Has that had anything to do with it?
You're talking about Embassy Suite.
That's the one.
It's a great place.
The one. They were not paying us to say it yet, so that's okay.
Did you guys ever... They still have Embassy Suites.
Oh,
What's this
yeah.
There's around somewhere.
I was gone for 6 months once.
Did you really?
No.
Good breakfast, then.
Great breakfast.
They had good breakfast.
6 straight months once.
And they have, I don't know if they still do this, but back in the day, they used to have cocktail hour every night. Did you
Yeah.
They have concierge level. Go down and get yourself a cocktail. It's kind of watered down.
I
It's
think
free.
that's about the time the games were at, though. So maybe the Mariners hit it up right as they were on their way to the game, and that's what helped. Yeah. So
That's what got Babe Ruth to the Hall of Fame.
So, it might have actually. So the Mariners are looking good.
Yeah.
Are you thinking that they're going to win the World Series? Prediction?
They'll win the World Series. I like how we've jumped from Jalen Milroe is Lamar Jackson to Mariners are looking good to, they're winning the World Series.
Here's what the audience knows about me. When I get excited about things, I get very excited. So the Seahawks, we have a future Lamar Jackson playing for us now. He's going to be the quarterback. He's going to be the best guy in the NFL, probably by the end of next season. That's a prediction. Mark it. And the Mariners, very good chance. Now they have pitching coming back.
Yeah.
They could win the World Series.
Well, I think very good chance that they can win the division. And so you get excited about that because they have not won the division in a long time. Yes. So you have to do that first.
When the healthy
So then
win a short series,
once they win the division, then we'll come down here and we'll talk. We'll talk about Jalen Milroe becoming Lamar Jackson again because it'll be into the season. And then we'll talk about the Mariners winning the World Series.
Final topic for this segment down here in Studio B that we have to cover real fast. It's sports adjacent, so I feel like it does apply to this segment.
WNBA.
Spike once got stuck in a pipe.
Yes.
Tell Mike about that.
Yeah, let's hear about that.
It was a sports adjacent because we were playing stickball, Baltimore, East Coast youth, in the streets playing.
Were you the Lamar Jackson of stickball?
No, I was the one kid who was small enough to go in and chase the only ball we had that somebody hit into a sewer drain.
He was the Muggsy Bogues.
I was the kid, the skinny little brother that they sent down to shimmy down the pipe, and I could see it. I could see it from the light of the next sewer hole. Nice. That's how far away it was, right? And I'm shimmy down the pipe. And I reached to get the ball.
It's my nightmare right here.
And I can't back myself out of the pipe.
Oh.
Fire department 6 hours later. I'm claustrophobic for life.
I would be too. I think I'm getting claustrophobic just hearing that.
Are you getting claustrophobic?
Oh, this and hearing that story. I'm about to just rip off my clothes and sprint out of here.
I was actually thinking that we should start doing a segment. That would be gross. Let's ignore it. I was thinking we should start doing a segment where Spike and I aren't. And if you're not watching YouTube, you're missing out. If you're not watching it live, go to youtube.com, search KIRO Newsradio, and then you will find the Jake and Spike show. It'll just pop up live for you. You and I start at opposite ends of the desk. We call it the hot seat.
Closer.
Jake and Spike. And then we have a desk who stands in the middle. And then every question, we're allowed to move one pace in.
Right.
And then by the time we end,
you're right there.
It's close.
You are really
smelling my coffee breath.
And I'm smelling everyone's breath right now. I think the audience is smelling it.
Brought to my Mentos, that segment.
We have fresh breath.
How well would that work? That would work once, and then I think no guests would want to come do it again.
No, we don't have any more guests. I actually think it's a really good idea. We should keep workshopping it.
This is great.
Good.
I like the idea.
All right. He got out of the pipe, obviously.
Oh, nice. Congrats. You did.
To tell the tale. Yes.
Yeah. He's baby Jessica. I didn't know that. Who? Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Mike, thank you for hanging out.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
Fun.
All right. We'll be right back. We're going to pop back up to the studio, so stick around. We'll see you in a second.
KIRO News Radio, winners of 3 2025 Regional Edward R. Murrow Awards. Feature reporting, sports reporting, and overall excellence.
And we thank you. We are the Northwest leading news station because of you, inspiring us every day to deliver the local news and stories you care about.
KIRO News Radio. on 97.3 FM.
Watch and listen anywhere by downloading the KIRO Newsradio app, and always stay connected at mynorthwest.com.
Hey, Spike O'Neill for Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens. I got to tell you guys, last fall I'd come to the horrible realization that my eyes just weren't what they used to be. I was using readers all the time for just about everything, and I could never find them. I knew it was time to do something about my eyes, so I went to the offices of Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens over in Bellevue, had a comprehensive eye exam, and I was told I had the beginnings of cataract, and I was a perfect candidate for refractive lens exchange, RLE surgery. I had a lot of questions, which they answered on the spot, put me at complete ease. Went into a very easy procedure one afternoon, made comfortable from the moment I walked in to the time I was going home. And within a couple weeks, I had the best vision of my life. I'm not kidding. I used to always have great vision, 20/20 vision. Now, thanks to Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens and my RLE surgery, I've got 20/10 vision, better than any time in my life. And I will never need glasses again. And I will never develop cataract with RLE replacement surgery. If it's time for you to do something good for yourself, get a free exam over at Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens. Give them a call, 425-451-2020, 425-451-2020, or online at sharp-vision.com, sharp with an E-vision.com, official eye care providers of Sounders FC.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it'd go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
I've always been a super athletic guy, but after I turned 40, I noticed I was slowing down. Instead of hitting the gym after work, I spent my evenings on the couch with a bag of chips. I was gaining weight, losing muscle, and when I did try to work out, I ran out of energy right away. One of my buddies suggested I book a free testosterone check at Revive Health, and that's when I learned that low T doesn't just impact how guys perform in the bedroom. I worked with a provider to create my custom treatment plan, and today I'm feeling stronger than ever. Last week, I even set a new PR at the gym. My only regret is not reaching out sooner.
If you're ready to book your free T-check, visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com or call 206-529-1111. Again, that's 206-529-1111.
At Lake Washington Windows and Doors, we offer premium windows that are 25% more energy efficient, reduce noise by 50%, and come with clean glass technology. And Leak Armor installation gives you a lifetime warranty to protect your home. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
Lake Washington Windows and Doors makes it easy to enjoy new windows with clean glass technology now and defer paying for them until 2026 with zero down, zero payments, and zero interest for 12 months. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
If you want a dream bathroom without a humongous price tag, now's the time to call Bathfitter Northwest. Ursula Royteen here. I picked Bathfitter because they are the original one-day bath remodeler. They're a local family-owned business that's been around for 40 years. They own every step in the process to make sure you get the best quality product and the best value. Now get 0% interest for 24 months. Call the people I trust to do the job right, Bathfitter, or visit bathfitternw.com.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Perungo and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and $250 controversy-free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Safety comes first. When money is tight, Bucky's has you covered with available financing. For oil changes, wiper blades, brakes, tire rotation, tune-ups, and factory maintenance, it's Bucky's Complete Auto. No appointment necessary and financing's available. Check Bucky's.com for the location near you.
Hey 12s, Steve Rabel here, voice of your Seattle Seahawks. The wait is over, and tickets are on sale now for our historic 50th season. This season is going to be legendary, with past, present, and future colliding at Lumen Field. Get your tickets today at Seahawks.com/tickets.
High schools committed to improving their students' health and performance are invited to apply for Nourishing Champions grants, up to $20,000 made possible by Champions of Change and Safeway. Visit championsofchangefoundation.org/nourishingchampions.
Your new beginning starts now. D.R. Horton has new construction homes available throughout the greater Seattle area. With spacious floor plans, flexible living spaces, and home technology packages, you can enjoy more cozy moments and sweet memories in your beautiful new home. With new home communities opening throughout the Seattle area, D.R. Horton has the ideal home for you. Visit drhorton.com to learn more. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
Welcome back to the show. Back up here in the main KIRO radio studios. We're going down to that Studio B a lot. People like it. People are talking about it. It's the basement.
Yeah,
the
basement tapes.
Yeah, the basement tapes.
There you go. We're workshopping the name.
That makes it seem scary and
and not ready for prime time.
Like it wasn't supposed to get out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we're down in the basement filming stuff.
How about a bunch of B-roll? Let's call it B-roll. No, that's not going to work. That
B-roll's
stinks.
nice.
No.
Oh, I kind of like it. If you don't like it, then we're not of one mind, and we pass on that.
You know what? If we need is a sponsorship.
We should find a sponsor for down there.
It'd be
You're
nicer
right.
to be able to say, let's go to the
Let's head on down to the X studio, whatever.
Right?
Yeah, X makes it sound pervy too.
They got a lot of money.
Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
we'll take anybody's. Well, not anybody's money, but welcome to the
Almost
Medellin
anyone.
Cartel Studios at KIRO Newsradio. That would not work.
This is interesting. That's a great segue. Speaking of cartels,
Okay.
speaking of drugs, there was a guy who was pulled over. This is wild. This happened in California. But we had a crazy traffic stop last week. You remember that raccoon thing?
Oh, the meth. Oh,
The meth
yes,
raccoon?
Rocky.
Was he a meth raccoon? No, he was a crack raccoon.
Was it
he a
crack? Was it raccoon?
pipe?
It was a raccoon. That's right.
Raccoon.
Yeah.
That's right. His tiny little adorable paws on a crack pipe.
Which is the rejected sequel to Cocaine Grizzly, by the way, was Crackoon.
It's just far less threatening.
Yeah.
It's
never left his tree. That was the thing.
It's adorable. Yeah.
Right. No matter
Very
how high he is,
lethargic.
he's still adorable.
He does nothing. He just does nothing. He's just begging for stuff all the time.
So what was this traffic
Listen to this.
stop?
This is crazy. Traffic stop in California. This happened on May 6th. Solano County Sheriff's Department deputies pull over this guy, 50-year-old guy, in Solano. Where is this at? This is Vallejo, California. He gets pulled over and they find meth in the car. So they got to arrest him. Obviously, he's doing
a lot
bad
of
things.
meth. A lot of meth.
A lot of meth.
Like a half pound in the car, right?
Is that a lot? I don't know much about meth.
It wasn't for his trip to the county and back. It wasn't road meth.
Is that enough to kill a donkey?
That's yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Even carrying it, that's enough.
That's how I judge everything.
That's good. That's a good
Is that enough
barometer.
to kill a donkey? So he's got a half pound of meth. That's a no-no. They arrest him, and then they go to his house. They get a search warrant. They say, hey, he's got a half pound of meth in his car.
Yep.
What does he have in his house?
You're right, Your Honor. They get the search warrant.
So this is a crazy thing. They found even crazier stuff, not just the methamphetamine. Listen to this. This is wild. Routine traffic stop. Methamphetamine in the car. They go to his house, and they find not just meth, which they did, $26,000 in street value of meth. They also found some cash, $2,000 in cash. I don't know what that was for. Could have been selling or buying drugs. I have no idea. An additional pound of methamphetamine, which was, I don't know what the street value of that is, but whatever. It's probably not for him. Here's the part that jumped out at me, though. A live spider monkey. They find a exotic pet.
In this guy's home.
In this guy's home.
Okay.
A spider monkey and 2 live rattlesnakes.
Damn.
Isn't that wild?
Very, no pun intended.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
Just a wild thing. So they had to call animal control, come in there. I assume they're going to test these animals for
drug use.
They might test them for drug use. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just make sure that they're properly cared for. That's what they're worried about.
Oh, really? That's okay. Well,
I would say
that should be a concern. I don't mean to minimize the well-being of pet animals, whether they're wild animals or not.
No, I think that's probably. I would assume that they're not well cared for, given that this guy's got all this meth.
A meth dealer. Or I'm assuming, allegedly.
We don't know. We don't know if he's meth.
He had a half pound in the car, another pound at home.
Another pound at home. Yeah, $26,000 of street value, according to this story. And then a spider monkey, and then 2 rattlesnakes. And I hate snakes. I hate them. I can't stand them. The spider monkey I'd be fine with, but the snakes, ugh. What would you do?
If I found them, or why?
Yeah, if you found them, what would you do?
Oh, well, first off, you rehome them to a good, proper home.
The rattlesnakes?
Sure. People love snakes. Snakes are, I don't know if rattlesnakes are good pets. I know people are crazy for reptiles, and they're crazy to have reptiles as pets. When I say crazy, I mean like in a loving sense. They're crazy about them.
No, I don't think it's loving.
I think it's crazy to have rattlesnakes as pets.
It's crazy to have snakes as pets.
Which leads me to think this was this guy's home security system.
The rattlesnakes?
Yes, and the spider monkey.
What's the spider monkey going to do?
Look, tiny little
he's
thing.
He's on lookout. Let me see the picture of this
He's on lookout. Look at those eyes.
Oh, that's adorable.
He's on lookout. He sees a cop out front. He goes over. He's got those opposable thumbs. He opens up the cages on the rattlesnakes.
Sure.
Makes perfect sense, right?
But then they're going to eat him. Wouldn't a rattlesnake go to town on a spider monkey's a tiny little thing?
Yeah, I imagine they've.
Plus, if they're addicted to meth,
that takes away your appetite. From what I hear.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's
It's just crazy. It's just like another. We played the raccoon meth thing, and now we have spider monkeys, and we have rattlesnakes, and we have meth.
You know what? You know me. I'm about silver linings. I'm about looking on the bright side of life. I'm a whistle a happy tune kind of guy.
Make it happy for us.
They weren't in the car, right? You stop the guy.
That's it.
When I see the headline, a car stop leads to discovery of 2 rattlesnakes and a spider monkey.
Yeah.
I'm thinking last week it was a raccoon. This week he's got 2 rattlesnakes. What, in the glove box?
That's what I thought too. It was
Next
in the car.
was loaded 45.
Exactly. But no, it's in the house. It's the proper place to keep them.
It is. It really is. And I bring it up at my sentencing.
I'd say, Your Honor.
Your Honor, at least he had the common sense not to have the spider monkey and the rattlesnakes in the car with him.
Smart.
That's responsible drug dealing.
This is a guy who's making good life decisions.
That's from the Better Call Saul School of Defense.
Crazy. It's a tough job to be a cop.
It is. People making horrible decisions like this on a daily basis, and you're our blue shield between us and these nuts.
One of my favorite things to talk about, I have a couple of really good cop friends. My neighbor is a canine cop. He's the human half of that equation. And the stories of the stuff that they find. The stuff that they're just presented with at their job on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Like when you and I are joking and having fun here.
Yeah.
We have a weird job.
They're like, that's nothing.
We're like, have you ever found a spider monkey and 2 rattlesnakes? I mean, like that's a wild
That's a day
job.
we call Tuesday.
Exactly. We should have anonymous cops come on the show and just tell us the crazy stuff that happens in their life.
Text us. We'd love to.
Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. We got a lot more coming up. So stick around. We'll be right back.
Why local news matters.
KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey is here.
So in April, we did a story on this rehab facility called Pushing Boundaries. They've helped thousands of people recovering from brain injuries on the brink of closing shop after months of dwindling donations. And just days later, they started getting donations and they raised $200,000 they needed thanks to our listeners to stay open.
KIRO News Radio.
We've got some great listeners out there.
On 97.3 FM. And download the KIRO News Radio app.
I always say, know where your food comes from. And for the best tasting food, choose locally fresh. Hartley here from Wilcox Family Farms. When you choose food from local family farmers like Wilcox, you support the local economy with jobs and promote environmental sustainability. Wilcox is committed to organic, humane practices that keep our hens healthy and help preserve the land. So, our family can keep on producing great eggs for another 100 years. Wilcox Family Farms, locally fresh since 1909.
Need a new roof now? With State Roofing and Exteriors, you can get started with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. That's right. Protect your home now and pay later. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today.
Hey, are aches, injuries, or everyday pains slowing you down? Well, it is time to move better, feel stronger, and get back to doing what you love. IRG Physical and Hand Therapy is now accepting new patients, and no referral is needed. Their expert team offers personalized, hands-on care to help you recover faster and stay pain-free longer. Shannon, what is it like to see new patients walk through your doors?
Rock, it's wonderful. You know why? It's because it's an opportunity for us at IRG
to make a difference in someone's lives. It's so important that when people come in, they experience engagement, coaching, teaching. We build relationships with our patients, and we want to make it easy. We all know that healthcare has a lot of what I call minutia in it. We have a concierge call center. When you call, we're going to check your authorization, verification, certification, justification. We're going to find out everything we need to know about your insurance, and we're going to make it easy for you because we want you focusing on getting better.
And all you got to do is head over to irgpt.com to find the clinic nearest you. irgpt.com.
When we reach our golden years, it's natural to want to stay in our homes. We've worked hard for them, but as our minds and bodies age, the home can become an unsafe place where loneliness thrives. Amanda here for Care Partners Senior Living. Our communities offer safe living spaces and managed common areas with medical professionals on site and ready to help. We assist you with your mobility when needed, allowing you to socialize or participate in activities whenever you like. Care Partners Senior Living provides both privacy and socialization at your desired pace. You aren't living alone in our communities because help is always nearby. And believe it or not, community living can be more cost-effective than in-home care. With locations throughout Washington and Arizona, you'll find a Care Partners community near you. Care, it's in our name and what we do. Learn more at carepartnersliving.com.
With 30 communities, including Covington, Bremerton, Snohomish, and the grand opening of North Creek Bothell, there's quality senior care at an affordable price near you. Visit carepartnersliving.com. Save on a 2-night getaway to beautiful Victoria, BC with the FRS Clipper Spring Sale. Travel car-free on the Clipper Fast Ferry and stay at a charming downtown hotel, up to 20% off. Save during Clipper Spring Sale at frsclipper.com.
Hi, I'm Keith Dashafee, owner of Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. We're celebrating 100 years of Pella excellence with an offer as strong as our legacy. Get $100 off every window, $100 off every door, and enjoy 100 days with no interest and no payments. It's our way of saying thank you for letting us be a part of your homes for a century. Visit PellaPNW.com to schedule your free consultation today. Pella, 100 years strong.
Steel walk behind, zero turn, and stand-on mowers are built to get the job done. Shop online or at your local Steel dealer. Steel, let's go mow.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the show. We're very excited to...
Sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Cammie McCormick. President Trump spoke today with the leaders of Ukraine and Russia.
We just spent 2.5 hours talking to Vladimir Putin, and I think some progress has been made. It's a terrible situation going on over there.
Stacey Lynn has more from the White House.
He says Russia and Ukraine will immediately start negotiations towards a ceasefire and, more importantly, an end to the war. The conditions, he says, will be negotiated between the two parties.
CBS's Ed O'Keefe.
I think ultimately the rest of the world realizes that this has got to be a deal cut between those two countries. And what he's signaling there is that he's not going to be the one to negotiate the terms of surrender or ceasefire for either of these two parties. That's in line with what Europe wants. That's consistent with how the Biden administration handled things. They used to say nothing about Ukraine without Ukraine.
Israel said today it allowed the first humanitarian aid into Gaza since March, 5 trucks versus 600 a day before the ceasefire collapsed. CBS's Deborah Pato reports it's an abrupt about-face for Prime Minister Netanyahu.
Israel has said up until now that there were no food shortages, but last night, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that they will let in a limited amount of aid to avert what he called a starvation crisis.
The UN says the aid was just a drop in the ocean. A federal judge is blocking the Trump administration from moving forward with its dismantling of the U.S. Institute of Peace. CBS's Scott McFarland reports the judge also ruled the think tank was taken over by blunt force. FBI agents and D.C. police helped Doge gain entry.
She says this not only represents a misuse of power and a way of conducting government affairs, but was unnecessarily traumatizing to the committed leadership and employees of the Institute of Peace, who she says deserve better.
Ronald Reagan created the Institute 40 years ago. Former President Biden expressed gratitude today for the outpouring of support short after his cancer diagnosis. Dr. David Aga says there is a treatment for that type of prostate cancer.
The standard treatment for this, really independent of age, is to remove something the cancer is addicted to. In this case, it's testosterone. It's the hormone that feeds the growth of this cancer. By blocking the production and the signaling of this hormone, the cancer many times stops growing and goes into a dormant state.
There's been another system outage at a Philadelphia air traffic control center that handles flights in and out of Newark and New Jersey. The FAA says the outage was 2 seconds, but it came midday when the skies were full of planes. It's the fourth outage since late April. On Wall Street, the Dow was up 137 points. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Breaking news in a Tacoma cold case. The story coming up. But first, from the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk, in Canyon Park, a crash is blocking 2 lanes on northbound I-405 and State Route 527. You're backed up to the North Creek Forest. And you're slow from the Tiger Mountain Summit up to I-90 due to construction. Construction also has you slow along JBLM. Travel times otherwise pretty good. Everett to Seattle, 33 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle, 21. Renton to Bellevue, 13. Traffic brought to you by ProSculpt, the one-day permanent fat loss and skin tightening solution for men and women, offered by New Skin Med Spa in Bellevue. ProSculpt.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Heather Bosch. A possible break in a cold case. Live to KIRO News Radio's James Lynch in Tacoma. James?
Heather, Tacoma police still aren't releasing very much information on whatever is going on here, but there is a sergeant here that's in charge. Her name is Sergeant Julie Dyer. Published reports indicate she is the lead investigator in the Tika Lewis case and has been since 2021. Also, the home where they are digging in this backyard is just a short drive away from the bowling alley where Tika Lewis disappeared 26 years ago. Just a few minutes ago, the mobile command center pulled up at this location, indicating that they will probably be here for a little while. Live in Tacoma, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Thank you, James. Seattle police are searching for a motive and suspects in a shooting that left 3 people dead, 1 injured in Pioneer Square early Saturday. This witness telling KIRO 7 TV.
I just heard rapid gunshot fires. Like it just happened rapidly. Brrr, bah, 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 bah. And then it was over just like that.
The 4th victim is hospitalized. Police are looking for a Tesla seen in the area. In Federal Way, an 18-year-old is dead and an 11-year-old injured after a shooting. KIRO 7 TV's Deborah Horn with more on that.
Early Saturday morning, neighbors say they could hear arguing, then rapid gunfire. This neighbor says she came out once the shooting stopped. The teenager then still alive.
She was saying, hey, I can't breathe.
Cell phone video shows Federal Way police arriving. They ran over to the man. Medics soon followed.
Pumping and pumping and pumping for 20 minutes, trying CPR.
By then, it emerged a stray bullet had struck an 11-year-old neighbor as he lay in bed.
The child is hospitalized, the shooter on the loose. The FAA is investigating after 2 Alaska Airlines planes clipped wings while being pushed on the tarmac at SeaTac Saturday. Alaska tells KIRO 7 TV ground tugs were moving the jets at the time. No one was hurt. Passengers had to switch to new planes. Remember in Back to the Future when Doc fuels his flying DeLorean time machine with garbage?
Wait a minute, what are you doing, Doc? I need fuel.
That might not be so far-fetched. A new jet fuel research center planned in Everett may one day have you flying on planes powered by food scraps or sewage instead of fossil fuel. The Everett Herald reporting the facility just received a $10 million anonymous gift. Another $10 million is expected to come from the state. The center aims to open in Painfield by 2027. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Cloudy today with highs around 60 and it's 59 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News. It's the all-new Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio.
I'm waiting! Welcome back to the show.
Welcome. 1 hour down, 2 to go. Spike, a lot of stuff to get to. We got a couple guests coming up I'm excited about. Chris Sullivan, he's going to join us down at Studio B, or the Red Light District as we're calling it. Also the basement, as some people like to put it.
Sure, the dungeon.
The dungeon.
Called by some people.
The Bro Dungeon. We're going to jump down there at 1:30 and talk with him. He was in a road rage incident, and he posted about it on X over the weekend. I
heard
was just
a little bit about this. I love the details.
This poor guy is in a crazy road rage incident, and ironically, he's like the traffic guy. You know, he knows all about what's going on the roads.
Well, he knows the laws of the road better than anybody in the state of Washington.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to tell you. He's, can cite chapter and verse of what code you're violating when you do the stupid things we do in our cars.
Very boring at a party, but he's great on the radio because he has details. No, a lot of stuff. And so he's going to join us. And then at 2 p.m., this is really interesting. There's a social media person, and her name is Ashley. We're not going to use her full name because she's actually doing like really good work that can be kind of scary. She highlights predators on the internet, people who have been released from prison and then go on these dating websites, people who have really horrible backgrounds. And there was a guy recently who was released into this area who has a couple of really scary things in his past that he served a lot of time for. And so she put out this video, which kind of got some attention. So she's going to join us at 2 o'clock.
Perfect.
And talk about where she finds these people, how to highlight them, what you can do to be vigilant, so you're not like.
Thank you.
Because
there's ourselves.
There's a lot of young people, especially not just young people, all people. They go online, they try to meet people, and they date, but you don't know who you're meeting up with, and it can be really scary. And so she's like, "All right, I'm just going to give people more information so that they are not finding themselves in a really bad situation." So she'll be on with us at 2 o'clock. So make sure you don't miss out on that. Can we play? There's some video. If you're not on YouTube right now, you're not watching the live stream, or you haven't downloaded the KIRO Radio app, do that right now. If you're on your computer or you're near it, go to youtube.com. In the search bar, type in KIRO News Radio, and then our show will pop up there. You click on the KIRO News Radio live feed, you're going to find Spike and myself, and we're going to watch a video together. Did you see this ship that crashed into the Brooklyn Bridge?
Yes, I did.
This was like the big story over the weekend, kind of the viral video that went everywhere.
Yeah, it's funny. I saw it post pretty by the timeline, pretty close to moments after it happened. It was already across social media.
Wildfire just went spread around the world.
But then as I saw more and more coverage of it, it became more of a horrible story.
So 2 people died.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of people who've been hurt. There was 277 people on board, and this is a ship that's part of the Mexican Navy, and it was in harbor. It was at let's see, where was that here? Pier 17 in Manhattan. It was on its way to Iceland. It was going to leave. It was going to go, and it was going to refuel in Brooklyn, and then it was going to make its way out into the ocean, head over to Iceland as part of some tour. It's a beautiful ship. It was built in 1982. It looks like a classic old,
It's a tall ship. Yeah.
It's a tall ship.
It's an ocean-going sailing ship, yeah.
3 giant masts. Yeah. It's beautiful. It's white.
Gorgeous.
So
and it's decked out in party lights.
Sure.
Like you would see like on the holiday, the holiday boat, the Christmas boats.
Yeah, Christmas ships.
It looks like that. It's a
but
white
like a
ship.
nightmare. Christmas ships, but a nightmare.
This beautiful, huge Mexican flag flying, and sailors aboard every mast.
Well, this is the thing that people didn't know when they first saw the thing.
Exactly.
Because I didn't know it either, and I'm watching this video, and I showed it to my wife. I'm like, oh, wild, watch this. And it smashes it. That's how tall the masts are.
Yeah.
Smashes into the Brooklyn Bridge. But what you don't see right away until people had then all these videos start circulating, because there's like a presentation aspect to this. Like you mentioned, they have the lights and they have the flag. I think they even have like
it's
music
Saturday
playing.
Night on Manhattan.
Yeah, and it's beautiful weather outside.
There are people everywhere. I've seen so many angles of this being filmed.
Yeah, everyone's got a phone.
From high rises overlooking, that's the Hudson, I guess, runs under the Brooklyn Bridge.
Sure.
I mean, there must be 100 different videos of this collision between the boat and the bridge.
There's a walkway right there. I don't know if it's Brooklyn Heights or whatever it is, but there's a walkway, and there's people who are out and about on a Saturday night.
Beautiful Saturday night, spring Saturday night in New York.
And if you saw a boat,
gorgeous,
you would just take a picture of it because it's a gorgeous boat. But then as you see it start drifting, and there's shades of this. And actually, can we go over and can we watch this? If you're on YouTube, you can watch along with us. But you see the boat start to drift. Seeing the boat here, you're watching. People are watching from the.
There it is.
So it's just slowly going away.
First, and it's not slowly.
Oh my gosh! And the masts all three of them slam into the bridge.
Are broken in half.
Broken in half. So this is the video that I saw, the one that we're watching right now.
That's the first one you saw.
It's a good distance away, and what you can't see, because again, it's a massive ship. It's just huge. What you can't see is that all three of those masts are lined with sailors on the sails, on the top of the sails.
We've all seen at Seafair when the fleet is coming into town and they're all standing along the edge of the deck of the ship, right? And in full white dress uniforms. I mean, they are on parade.
Yep.
And this ship was on parade. It was leaving the slip in, was the slip 76, you said? Or
19.
19.
Close.
Anyway,
17.
Yeah,
17. I got that. Doesn't matter.
Anywho, this thing was backing, and as the details of this collision started to emerge, you found out a few horrific things. First off, that there were 2 deaths. There were, I think, 22 injuries, half of them critical.
I'm surprised there wasn't more.
As am I. Because
the height that those guys must have fallen from.
And they're standing across the different masts that, not just the vertical masts, the horizontal masts that hold the sails are all lined with sailors in full dress at full parade, stance.
Mm-hmm.
And this boat was backing out of its slip and had a mechanical failure that wouldn't let it stop backing up under power.
Yep.
And so it wasn't a drift. It wasn't operator error. It was literally under mechanical power. They could do nothing to stop, and it collided with the underside of the Brooklyn Bridge, broke off all 3 masts, sent dozens of sailors falling, coupled to their deaths. Again, about 11, 12 critically injured, still in the hospital.
Did you see the pictures? People have probably seen this already, but did you see the pictures of all of the sailors who were still hanging up, like the broken masts that were hanging?
They're hanging from wiring.
They're hanging
and
from
ropes.
wiring, just like holding on for dear life.
Exactly.
And they're 100 something feet. I don't know how tall the bottom of the Brooklyn Bridge is, but it's got to be, a couple hundred feet?
The Queen Mary has passed under the damn thing. It's tall.
Massive.
Very tall.
And they're hanging, just dangling from these broken mastheads, and still somehow managed to make their way down.
And some of them, they could fall 100 or more feet to the deck of the ship, to the water below.
Yeah,
most of the ones did fall.
The thing that surprised me that I couldn't figure out, it's not like they're racing toward the Brooklyn Bridge.
No, but they're if you've ever captained a boat, there's a set backup speed.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is, if you're one of those sailors, and you're standing up on the mast, and you're watching this bridge get perilously closer and closer to you, and you're like, hey guys.
But at a certain point, you've got faith in the crew below you that they're going to be able to get this ship under control.
And are you technically abandoning your post if you
there's a thought of that too. I hadn't even thought about that.
That's what I was trying to get
to.
The
discipline to stand your post, even though you're on parade. You are still in service. This is
also a training vessel.
Yeah.
So these are new sailors. So they may not have realized, or they may not have understood the situation.
Or how perilous it was. Right.
And I don't know how far the Pier 17 is from the Brooklyn Bridge and how quickly the boat got there, but it looked like you could have climbed down a little bit. I don't know. That to me
sought some kind of safety. I'm not sure. As it became perilously close, it became inevitable that you're going to collide with this bridge.
And you know what? Even as I'm saying it, they must have, because when we watch the video, you can see how much of the mast was sheared off, covered in guys. So only 2 people died, which is horribly sad, but amazing that only 2 died when you see that it's lined with. So they must have taken some evasive action
at the last moment. Possible.
The last moment.
What were you telling me about the tugboat?
Oh, there's a tugboat that's chasing
in one
them.
video.
In one video, there's a tugboat that's chasing them along the. And is that the Hudson? Is that what they're on? Is that where the Brooklyn Bridge goes?
I think it was the Hudson. I'll check
there's
my geographical memory.
There's a tugboat chasing the boat, trying to get ahead of it before it hits the Brooklyn Bridge so that it can stop it. But it's apparently, according to one of these stories, an older tugboat that just wasn't ready for this job anymore.
Well, any boat of that size is going to be tugged out. There's going to be tugboat accompaniments on these boats as they
but
come
it's going in the other direction.
Right, because it's supposed to back out of its slip, change gear direction, and then proceed
pull you forward out of.
Right.
Yeah.
This thing just kept backing up because they couldn't get out of reverse.
Crazy.
Into the bridge. You remember the Baltimore?
Yeah, the Baltimore thing.
The cargo ship.
Reminded me of the cargo ship.
That was.
That was a similar thing. That was a malfunction.
It was a malfunction.
Lost power,
that boat lost power and was adrift, and the boat of that size and that gross tonnage. I forget but we're talking about hundreds of tons. Of cargo on a cargo ship that drifted into one of the main supports of the Francis Scott Key Bridge. That brought the whole bridge down. I mean, this was a horrific tragedy.
And that's your neighborhood.
It's still my neighborhood. It's born and bred in Baltimore. Man, I still know guys that are impacted because that bridge, They're still without the Key Bridge. That was the largest freight transport route on the East Coast, the north-south along the eastern seaboard. All traffic now, all freight traffic, all auto traffic too, of course, but all freight traffic now has to go around Baltimore. It's impacted so many lives, so many businesses.
Does it just go into New York now?
They can get anything from Richmond, from the Carolinas. Anything going north-south used to cut through the Francis Scott Key Bridge, that expressway.
Yeah.
And now that's all going to go around the city of Baltimore. It's all still getting there. It's just time intrusions and those kind of things. But that was a ship with no power that was just drifting off course. This was a boat under power.
This would have been different if it didn't have power. If it was just drifting,
it may have just bonked into the ship and stopped. It would have been damaging.
Yeah.
But the fact that it drove itself under that bridge and clipped off those 3 masts and put those sailors at peril.
Unbelievable.
The 6 deaths in the Baltimore Key Bridge collision with the tanker ship. Those were workers on the bridge.
Yeah, late at night.
That perished. They were fixing potholes on the bridge. These are the sailors that were, as you mentioned, they were assigned. They were under training. They were on post. They were standing post.
It's interesting because these are obviously horrible disasters and people lost their lives. But when you look at, in both of those cases, this one in Brooklyn and then the other one in Baltimore, they both could have been so much worse. Like the fact that the Francis Scott Key Bridge was empty at night.
When they were able to close the bridge, they closed road traffic on the bridge.
But imagine if that had happened, because I imagine ships are going through there at all hours of the day.
All hours of the day, yeah. Rush hour?
Imagine that was rush hour and there was just nowhere for people to go.
30,000 ships a day cross that.
Yeah. Or
3,000 cargo.
30,000
cars, 3,000 trucks a day.
Yeah.
In rush hour, you're talking about hundreds of vehicles that could have been sent into the water.
Just sitting there.
Yeah.
Waiting for the ship.
The stuff of movies.
Just nightmares, yeah. But only 6 people perished. Very sad still, but not hundreds. It could have been on the bridge.
And to your point, man, with only, knock wood, some of the people that are still critically injured in the hospital don't perish, but for only 2 to have lost their lives, it's somewhat of
kind of a miracle.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, let's get some local stuff in here real fast. Listen to this. A little update on these Starbucks baristas who are striking. More than 1,000 are striking at 75 U.S. stores. The strike started last Sunday, so we're just about a week into it. The union who represents these striking workers. And again, Starbucks has way more than 1,000 workers.
10,000 stores.
Yeah, and they're not all unionized.
Right.
Like a small percentage are unionized.
Correct.
But they feel like their rights have been infringed upon because Starbucks wants a uniform dress code for folks. And I think we have a video. We now have heard from a couple of different baristas. I assume these are just baristas because they're at the strike and they're claiming that they're baristas and they're airing their grievances about why they don't want Starbucks to tell them what to wear.
Well, we often have these protests at these college campuses, and oftentimes we wonder, are these students at these particular learning institutions, or are they outside agitators who just care about the cause?
Or just agitating.
Or just agitating.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that's right. You would have to be a Starbucks worker. You can't just be someone opposed to uniforms.
Yeah.
That's out there.
Yeah.
So
we're gonna we have some audio here. This is the first one. I don't know if he's a manager or whatever he is, but he's talking about. He says it's their right to wear whatever they want to wear. They have to get approval from the union before they can make changes. And I don't know that that's true. Actually, I think Starbucks has the right to say that you can wear a uniform. I don't think they cede that power to the union to decide what people are able to wear.
I'm not fully versed on the dynamics of the current contract because they're in contract negotiations, I believe, at the moment.
Sure.
If they've got a contract that says changes to uniform must be, run through their contract and thus through the union, maybe they have a case there.
I would never imagine that.
I don't know. That seems pretty far fetched. Yeah. I mean, if you got a business, you have the right to dictate how you operate your business.
Yeah.
That seems like business 101. I'm not a business major.
They're not asking to wear like go-go boots or anything. They're just saying you have to wear a black apron.
It's not lingerie day at Starbucks.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's hear some of this audio and we can decide what we do.
We just demand that Starbucks follow the law. They don't have the right to overthrow the National Labor Relations Act. They're imperiling every civil right that we have. Not just as workers, as union workers, but that's the framework that all of our rights are under. So all of our rights are in danger, and the only thing we can rely on is each other and taking direct action, solidarity.
Yeah, we're back. Perfect. Colin?
Exactly what Jacob said.
Perfect.
It's up to us to stand up for our rights and for our workplace.
Love it. Thank you, guys. No contract.
So they basically just saying Starbucks doesn't
Are
have
they
the right to do this.
chanting no contract, no teas? Is that what they're saying right now? No contract, no teas.
No teas like a drinkable tea?
Yeah.
No teas.
No contract, no teas.
No teas.
According to my quick research, National Labor Relations Act, the NLRA, prohibits employers from prohibiting union insignias at work. Is this dress code? Let's talk about, you wearing a uniform black shirt, khaki black or blue jeans, pants, and a green apron.
Of which they're giving you the clothing.
I don't know if they're banning union insignias on, is it no union flair on your apron? Is that what's part of their gripe? These guys seem to these violating
Joanna, let's talk about your pieces
talk about
of
your flair. I'm only counting 27 or some.
There's some people who want to wear more, and we encourage that.
He's saying they're violating a law. He seems like I hope he's a somewhat intelligent individual out there speaking to the media in regard to it doesn't seem that way to me either, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe there's some validity to his claim that they want Starbucks to adhere to the National Labor Relations Act to not violate the law.
It seems ridiculous. Can we play this other video? Spike, I want to play this video for you. This is another Starbucks worker who's also making complaints, and this is, I guess, stealing some right that they have to not wear aprons or shirts of their choosing or loose-fitting clothing.
Okay.
Here we go. Let's see what she has to say. She's got a mask on for the audience who is listening and not watching.
We're out on strike today because Starbucks is trying to implement a new dress code. No one ever asked for a new dress code. They updated a dress code recently, and it made it looser where we could wear colors and patterns. And now they're deciding that we can only wear black. It's very restrictive. Most of us had to buy new clothes, and we can't. We can't afford it. We barely make enough money to pay our bills. And also on top of that, they keep trying to make all these changes in union stores, and it's illegal. They're not allowed to make these changes without bargaining with us and voting on this. So it's just incredibly alarming and upsetting that Starbucks is continuing to do illegal things to our union stores. And so we're out here. All
right, that's enough. Continue. Illegal. It's an apron and it's a shirt. It's an apron and a shirt.
Again, I don't know about the statutes of the current contract. If they have a contract saying they're allowed to wear these things, so Starbucks comes in, and because a small percentage of their stores are union, they can make these changes across their company, but the union stores may still have the right, a negotiated right in their contract to wear what they want to wear. At that point, God, a company tells you how to do business. It's hard for me to get on the side of these liberty fighters, these freedom fighters.
What I love is you're trying.
The shots pulled around the world, I'm calling this,
You're being so generous and so kind to them.
I'm trying.
And you're trying so hard to, give them some little glimmer of hope.
I'm assuming there are semi-intelligent people out there who know that they have legal rights that have been violated. That's why they're out there. It's not just because they love frilly clothing.
It's a big assumption.
It is a big assumption.
Just make the coffee.
And the shots pulled round the world. Start of the revolution.
We got a lot more coming up. Let's pop down to Studio B or the Red Light District. Chris Sullivan is going to join us next. He was in a road rage incident.
I hope he's
Who
okay.
gets mad at Chris Sullivan?
Right?
Friendliest face in America.
He is.
Somebody wants to smash it in. He's going to tell us about it next.
It got that bad?
It got that bad. Yeah. He's going to tell us about it next. Join us. We'll be right back.
This hour is brought to you by Insulation Northwest.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body?
Huh?
That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot doot, and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh yeah.
Then we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Every client we have will know that we see them as people, not criminals. Our clients will be heard. Our clients will be understood. They will be valued. They will be seen. Nobody should drink and drive. It's dangerous. We want to keep the streets safe. We want to keep our kids safe. The thing each of our clients gets to know from us is that they are not problem people. They're individuals who made a mistake.
DUI Heroes, your DUI defense specialist. DUIHeroes.com.
This could be the oddest gift anyone's ever given me.
But I'll bet you use it.
When the time is right, I suppose.
That's the idea.
A plunger.
An Apollo plumbing plunger.
Free for me?
Actually, free to everyone we visit.
Because?
We believe some things you can do on your own.
And if this plunger can't fix it?
Apollo Plumbing will.
Just like that.
You call, we come, it's fixed.
Wouldn't you rather I just call?
You're welcome to.
Okay.
But for a simple backup?
Something I can solve myself?
Try your free plunger.
I'll admit it's kind of spiffy.
Apply a little pressure.
And if it still won't clear?
Call Apollo Plumbing.
The Ready Right Now plumbers.
Our big blue trucks come stocked full of fixes.
And a plunger-wielding plumber.
A clean screen, trained and trustworthy Apollo plumber.
They come in a jiffy.
Arriving when promised to put plumbing problems in your past.
And give me a free plunger.
That too.
You know, I kind of like this plunger.
I'm sure it'll come in handy.
Just like Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Hey, Spike O'Neill for Sharp Vision, Modern, LASIK, and Lens. About 2 months ago, I finally given up to the fact that I wasn't as young as I used to be, and my eyeballs were not as young as I used to be. It didn't work as well as to be. I always had perfect vision in my life, but I noticed deterioration, so I went to the folks at Sharp Vision, Modern, LASIK, and Lens, had a full eye exam. They do amazing work, and it was determined that by their very excellent staff, I had the beginnings of cataract, and I was a perfect candidate for refractive lens exchange, RLE surgery. Now, the folks at Sharp Vision, Modern, LASIK, and Lens have done over 80,000 successful lens replacement surgeries. So I was in great hands. My care team from start to finish put me at ease, answered all my questions. The procedure was easy. I was in and out in less than an hour, and within a couple of weeks, my recovery was complete. I've got 20/10 vision. Colors are brighter, more focused. I'll never need readers again, and I will never develop a cataract. They are the future of vision over 45. Give the folks at Sharp Vision, Modern, LASIK, and Lens a call, 425-451-2020. That's 425-451-2020, or online at sharp-vision.com, sharp with an e-vision.com, official eye care providers of Sounders FC.
There's a sink at the brink and a drain that's a pain. Dayandnight.net. Your old water heater, she's starting to peter. Dayandnight.net.
Plumbing emergency? Don't feel trapped. Do the smart thing and get a second opinion. Hi, I'm Bruce with Day and Night Plumbing and Heating. I guarantee you, whether Day and Night is your first choice or smart second opinion, we'll work harder than anyone to earn your trust.
Dayandnight.net.
I just learned 10% of our electricity in Washington comes from nuclear energy.
I've heard it's reliable and has a small footprint, but what about the waste?
It's not what you might think. No overflowing dumpsters or leaking barrels. Used fuel is safely stored in solid form after powering homes, schools, and businesses for years. All nuclear power plants in the U.S. store their used fuel responsibly to protect the environment.
Where can I learn more?
You can learn about nuclear energy and used fuel at energy-northwest.com. Energy Northwest, powering our clean energy future.
Before taking your next flight, you'll need to be prepared. Start off with a visit to realidwa.com.
New ID requirements for travel are here.
There are multiple forms of ID you can use.
Whatever option you choose, make sure you have it with you before heading to the airport.
That way, you can travel stress-free.
Make sure you're prepared so you can relax and enjoy your flight.
Real ID has arrived.
Visit realidwa.com.
High schools committed to improving their students' health and performance are invited to apply for Nourishing Champions grants, up to $20,000 made possible by Champions of Change and Safeway. Visit championsofchangefoundation.org/nourishing champions.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
A potential ceasefire between Russia and Ukraine. That's what President Donald Trump is announcing after a 2-hour phone call with Russian President Vladimir Putin today. President Trump also spoke with Ukrainian leader Volodymyr Zelensky.
We also spoke to the heads of most of the European nations, and we're trying to get that whole thing wrapped up. What a shame that it ever started in the first place.
Italy's prime minister said Monday that Pope Leo XIV offered to host the Russia-Ukraine peace talks. The top local story we are following, a cold case investigation in Tacoma. Police will not yet say what case it is, but they are excavating the backyard of a home in the city, and we have a reporter gathering the latest at the scene. Now for your closing bell report. The CEO of Microsoft interrupted during a speech today by protesters.
And when it comes to VS Code, just a couple of weeks ago,
Satya,
we shipped.
how about you show them how Microsoft is killing Palestinians? How about you show them how Israeli war crimes are powered by Azure?
That video obtained by the newspaper The Times of India at a conference here in Seattle. Protesters have been pressuring Microsoft to break ties with the Israeli military. In February, an investigation from the Associated Press revealed that the models from Microsoft and OpenAI were used as part of a program to select bombing targets in Palestine and Lebanon. Microsoft has denied the technology was used to harm people in Gaza. More flight options keep coming to Seattle-Tacoma International Airport. Scandinavian Airlines is returning to Seattle with a nonstop route to Copenhagen, the capital of Denmark, starting this Wednesday. This marks the third international flight added this year alone. Alaska Airlines announced service to Tokyo earlier this year. WestJet also debuted its route to the Canadian ski town of Kelowna, British Columbia. Now let's get a check on your stocks. The Dow is up 0.32%, S&P 500 up 0.09%, NASDAQ up 0.02%, and checking on Microsoft, up 1%, and Alaska Airlines is also up. Now we're going to get to your traffic report, brought to you by FRS Clipper. We are seeing the heaviest traffic on 405 northbound from Bothell to Linwood today. That is because of an earlier collision that's now been moved to the Gore Point. It is still a 25-minute drive, though, from Bothell to Linwood with that residual slowing. Seeing your typical in and out of downtown slowing on I-5 northbound and southbound. It's only adding a few minutes to your drive so far. And an odd bit of slowing coming out of Bellevue on 405 southbound from about I-90 into just past Newcastle, only adding a couple of minutes to your drive. Bothell to Linwood, like I said, 24 minutes with that slowing. Seattle to Tacoma, 41-minute drive. Seattle to Everett, 34 minutes. Tacoma to Olympia, 36 minutes. This traffic report brought to you by FRS Clipper. Save on a fun Victoria, BC getaway during FRS Clipper's spring sale. Clipper Fast Ferry plus 2 nights hotel up to 20% off at frsclipper.com. And now we're going to check on your weather, brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. We're going to see a high of 59 degrees today with clouds moving out of the way of the sun. Some sun breaks this afternoon. Same deal with tomorrow. We might start with a little bit of moisture, but we're going to warm up to 59 degrees with some sun breaks. And it's looking like it's going to clear up this week all the way to a rainy Friday. It is 59 degrees outside the studios here in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO Newsradio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
Welcome back down here to Studio B. If you're not watching on YouTube, you should. It's a lot of fun. We have Chris Sullivan who joins us now. Chris Sullivan, welcome to the show.
That's good to be here. I'm happy to be here at Studio B. I love this place.
Don't you love
so much nicer than our studio?
It really is.
It's so nice.
You can breathe in here. There's air. It feels good.
Yeah. Comfy chairs.
Feels
but
good.
today we're standing.
Today we're standing. And the reason we want to have you on the show today, Chris, is because I follow you on X. You're a funny guy to follow on X. Is it News Guy Sully?
News Guy Sully.
At News Guy Sully. You should follow him. He's a fun guy. Also at Jake Skorheim. People are loving it. You, over the weekend, posted something about you got into a road rage incident.
Yeah, this was
You lost
weird.
your mind on somebody.
Well, no, I didn't really lose my mind, but I've never had someone do something and then get out of their car
Yikes.
to come forward to confront me.
Wow.
And that happened in my neighborhood. So to break it down, I know it's going to be hard to do. I'll use hand gestures that are really confusing. But I'm at a left turn refuge, like a left turn lane, you know, the one, the yellow dotted, you only get 300 feet in.
Sure.
I was there. Where this spot is, I'll tell you, it's right at Seattle Hill Road and 132nd in South Everett.
I know.
On my right, there is the Bartels and the Pizza Hut or whatever.
Both soon to be out of business. But
Maybe.
go on.
So I'm parked there, and I then leave enough space between me and the car in front because people coming out of Bartell's, I don't want to block the intersection. And I knew this person, they had their signal on, they wanted to pull in front of me. So I was sitting there waiting to let them move in front of me. Okay. At which point a minivan comes around from behind me, pulls right up in front of me and takes that spot. At which point I lay on the horn. And I mean, for me, I laid on the horn.
What does that mean?
I was like,
for me,
as opposed to that beep, beep that I normally give people. No, I was incensed that someone could be this selfish. At which point the guy goes up, he opens up his door and gets at me and starts screaming obscenities. And I'm like, he's about to approach the car. Holly's in the car with me. I'm like, okay, what is? So at that point, I roll down the window and start screaming back at him, which I never do. I'm calling him selfish and a terrible driver and what's wrong with the world and how dare you get out of your car when you're the one who effed up.
Did you say the F word?
Yes, multiple times.
The full word?
Multiple times to this guy, at which point I made it look like I was getting out of my car and he got back in, signal changed. He then lane swept, second violation, into the second lane, and then Holly and I both flipped him off as we drove by him as he was immediately going into the Starbucks.
This is
like,
crazy.
dude, what are you doing?
Then he went and got in line for a coffee?
Well, I'm assuming he was going to go. It was either that or the
sushi
place or the Thai place, whatever was right in there. But I mean, I had my blinker on. I was clearly leaving room for the person to come in, and he just drives right around in front of me like I'm not even there. I was like, what do you think I was doing there? Sitting there with my blinker on, not blocking the intersection.
Were you ready? Were you ready? It sounds like you made a calculation in your head, and I think this is probably what happened. You said, if I don't demonstrate power,
he's going to come all the way to me.
And if he comes all the way to me, you don't know what he's got with him. That's a dangerous situation.
Correct.
But also, if you can kind of front a little bit, look it up on the internet.
I'm familiar.
If you could front, then he might be scared off, which is a calculated thing that you decided to do. And it seems like it worked.
Yeah, and at the same time, I was also looking at my potential outs. I could have veered off hard to the right in the car and gone a different way.
If he called your bluff.
Right. I could have then I would have been hard to go. I could have done a quick Yui, but it probably would have been a 3-point, and that would have been out of time. And with Holly in the car, I thought I might be able to scare him down, and then the light changed. I don't know if there's anybody else, but it was a minivan, so I'm assuming he was in there with somebody or maybe his kids, showing a really good example of what not to be.
He was in there with a teacup chihuahua.
Couldn't believe
named Sprinkles. That's why he was going to Starbucks for a pup cup. And when a guy wants a pup cup for Sprinkles, I can see why he got off.
Yeah, but I've never had somebody get out and get to that point where I thought they were coming at me. It was and this is in my neighborhoods. This person obviously lives in our neighborhood.
Well, you don't know what. He might have been a transplant. I don't know.
The selfishness behind the wheel today, I don't get. It's maddening. And in this case, I was just like, no. How dare you yell at me for honking the horn when you are so clearly in the wrong? Now, at this point, I get it. I sound like some neighborhood, not my yard guy. And I never do this. But this time I felt compelled.
Well, you had your spouse in the car.
Yeah.
There's a sense of protective responsibility that comes over a brain. I've been where you're at with. My problem is when I start to front because the missus is in the car and I know here comes some guy that clearly doesn't know what he's getting himself into.
Yeah.
I get more grief from the passenger seat than I get from the guy approaching my vehicle.
You have to decide, who am I willing to fight?
Right. And this guy's going to pull away. I got to take this one home. Right? How do you thread that needle? Teach me, oh Swami, of road rage.
That calculus didn't even enter into my head. It was all about kind of defending our space and making sure Holly and I could get out of there safely.
Yeah. Did you feel... And answer this question honestly, because I know.
Oh, like I haven't been.
Been pretty straightforward. Yeah.
So don't lie to our audience.
Don't start lying now.
I won't. Don't start lying. People know he's an honest, trustworthy guy. Let's keep that up. You're sitting there. He's coming at you. Are you instantly are you tensing up? Are you feeling like, I'm actually going to have to fight this guy?
Well, he only made it about 2 steps before I think he may have heard something from his vehicle. But as he opened up the door and started coming, that's when I immediately rolled down my window. I didn't open my door because I didn't want to escalate like 1 for 1. Like right now, it's on.
Right.
Because really, I haven't done that in a long time, and I'm not sure how my skills are. And I didn't know what was happening. So I just got into him verbally, and I think that was enough to scare him back or maybe make him think better of it.
Second question. How impressed was your wife? Pretty impressed, I imagine.
No, because
are you joking?
Why?
Because
she was probably ready to go too.
You think she hits your back?
Yeah, she
gets brass knuckles out of the club.
She has to drive every afternoon coming home from Boeing Field now up to the Everett area. I'm sorry, Holly, I just gave away your route. She deals with this every day, sees jerks every day, so I think she was ready to roll too.
No, but Chris, you scared this guy off with your masculinity.
I don't think that's true. I think it was a combination of the right was tanning, someone in his car told him to stop being a jerk, and...
No, you're reading it wrong. You're not giving yourself enough credit. If my wife was
glad
in the
it worked
car,
out.
I imagine my wife would think that. She'd probably think more like your wives did, which is like, oh, geez, Jake's being ridiculous. I like to think, though, that if I manned up, somebody came at me in the car, and I rolled down my window and I stopped it with just a look and words, like Chris Sullivan does, I think my wife would be like, this is the sexiest man I've ever seen.
They might want to admit it, but deep down in their reptilian brain,
they love it.
They know it. They got to protect her.
And then I did what every really, really strong macho man does in 2025. He tweets about it and gets in a soft-headed dig at the guy who says, yeah, I was balding, portly, driving this kind of car in this neighborhood. So I give him the business as as a typical Seattleite, giving you.
This is exactly what Steve McQueen and the Duke would have done back in the day.
Right.
They were tweeting about it after the fact.
Duke would have thrown that Lincoln Continental Mark III Jubilee Edition into park.
Yep.
Got out of the car.
Yeah, well, he was also 6'5",
6'5",
something like that.
I with the lift.
I was impressed. Even if your wife wasn't impressed with your masculinity, I was, which is why I want to highlight it on the show.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. You got to defend your people. But yeah, I can't believe the guy got out of it for something that seems so trivial. I was just honking his horn to let him know he was being a jerk and to let him know that I was there. I can't believe he got out of the car.
There's a mental thing that happens.
It's weird.
The road rage thing. People get in their car. They're surrounded by metal on all sides. They listen to whatever they want to listen to. It's 5,000 pounds at their control if it's suddenly they think they're Godzilla or something. He realized it. As soon as he stepped out of that barrier, he's in his protective cocoon. He steps out of the cocoon. He goes, oh, no, I forgot.
Right.
I'm going to have to actually fight this guy now.
And when you're in a minivan, nothing says masculine energy like a minivan.
I mean, we are in a Toyota Corolla. It wasn't like we were in an SUV. Right?
No, you've got to. You know what, though? Your door's open the right way. His slide open. Just imagine.
Right.
He's having to come up.
Got to hit him.
Well, that's if he got the rest of the crew with him.
Let's the 7-year-olds hop out.
Yeah, I would have run from that. Believe me, I've coached enough.
You asked the right question, though. What is it that makes people feel entitled to be the worst versions of themselves in traffic?
Cut people off.
We're all keyboard strong. We've had these confrontations without any kind of pushback for quite a few years now. And when somebody leans out the window and drops a couple of highly tailored F-bombs in their direction, letting them know this is about to get real, they get back in their little SUV.
Yeah.
Them and Sprinkles are off to the pub cup. And
I'm glad it didn't, too.
Because Holly and I had a fabulous dinner after that.
I bet you did.
Like you said.
I bet that's not everything. It's masculine, man. All right.
I think I went home and beat her in cribbage, if that's what you mean.
That's a euphemism.
I don't want to know. We're out for 26 years.
Listen, everybody,
he said.
Everybody's into different stuff. We have a lot more coming up. That's Chris Sullivan. We're going to jump back up to the studio. We'll be right back.
Hey folks, John Curley here. One of the best home comfort inventions of recent time, mini split systems. Now you can enjoy efficient heating and cooling while saving energy and reducing utility bills with personalized room comfort. Call my friends at Home Comfort Alliance for a free consultation, and for a limited time, get 18 months same as cash financing on all qualified systems. For all your heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs, call the comfort people. Home Comfort Alliance. Visit homecomfortalliance.com.
Hey, homeowners, protect your biggest investment now with Integrity Roofing and Construction. Get ahead of the summer rush. Integrity, your family-owned award-winning roofing and construction company, is ready to give your home the protection it deserves. Integrity offers complete in-house construction division and a design division for all your projects. Integrity Roofing also known for their top-notch service, of course. They have on-site project management that makes every process easy. Beat the summer rush and call Integrity today at 206-202-ROOF. That's 206-202-ROOF, or online for a free estimate at integrityrc.com.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot.
Summer is on everyone's mind, and many of us ladies, well, you men too, would like to get rid of that extra stubborn fat and address those areas of loose skin like around the waistline, chin, and upper arms. Maybe you've tried the lasers, fat-freezing methods, even those new pills, but without getting the results you were hoping for. Introducing ProSculpt, the new one-day instant permanent fat removal and skin tightening treatment. ProSculpt is minimally invasive, performed while you're fully awake, and it's gentle yet powerful. Designed to target the waistline, chin, neck, arms, and thighs, ProSculpt uses FDA-cleared plasma technology to deliver immediate and permanent fat-reducing and skin-tightening results, all in just one visit. Go to ProSculpt.com today to schedule your free consultation, and for a limited time, get $250 off. Feel confident this summer with instant, permanent fat reduction and skin tightening that works for women and men too. ProSculpt.com.
I've always been an athletic guy, but after turning 40, I noticed I was slowing down. I booked a free testosterone check with Revive Health and learned that low T doesn't just impact my performance in the bedroom. I've been following a custom treatment plan ever since, and today I'm feeling stronger and more confident than ever.
If you're ready to book your free T-check, text BOOST to 65555 or visit ReviveMensHealth.com to schedule your appointment. Message and data rates may apply. Message frequency varies. Text help for help. Text stop to cancel. See privacy policy at ReviveMensHealth.com/privacy policy. For info on how opt-in info will be used and terms and conditions at ReviveMensHealth.com/terms of use for terms of short code service.
You're losing your hair and you simply need a solution that works. You want the best. Modern technology, top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need world-class Dr. Perungo and his team at Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair has completely redefined hair restoration. From the experience itself to their unmatched results, receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, maybe all three like I had. Get your hair back with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment that begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. And get this, Advanced Hair is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. For your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. Right now, you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Refine your hairline with the team that redefined hair restoration. That's 425-449-8185. Or for the before and afters, visit advancedhair.com.
Comcast Business is celebrating Small Business Month by giving you a $1,000 small business bonus when you switch to a qualifying gig speed package from the company with over 99.99% network reliability. Just imagine the thousands of possibilities of a $1,000 prepaid card. Like possibility number 1, company merch for staff. Stylin'. Or possibility number 24, the latest software. Upgrade. Or possibility number 192, new equipment powered by gig speeds. Or possibility number 555, a 3D printer. Rapid prototyping, anyone? Switch to Comcast Business for over 99.99% network reliability, advanced cybersecurity, and now get started with a $1,000 small business bonus. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
And 6/22/25. New customers only with 2-year agreement. Other restrictions apply.
Steel, walk behind, zero turn, and stand-on mowers are built to get the job done. Shop online or at your local Steel dealer. Steel, let's go mow.
Safety first comes with available financing at Bucky's Complete Auto. For oil changes, brakes, tune-ups, wiper blades, and factory maintenance, check the Bucky's near you at buckys.com.
Hartley Wilcox here from Wilcox Family Farms. It's been fun meeting people at our recent egg demo events. I'm often asked, what do the hens eat? Well, Wilcox hens eat natural grains, seeds, and grass. They forage for worms and bugs, and their diet is free from pesticides and fertilizers. For fresh local eggs, look for Wilcox eggs at Safeway, Town & Country Markets, or Amazon Fresh. Wilcox Family Farms, locally fresh since 1909.
Welcome back to the show. This segment's a little gossipy, so I hope you guys don't mind a little gossipy segment.
I'm in. Let's go.
Gossip, you say?
Juicy.
Juicy gossip. You know who Justin Bieber is?
Young kid, right?
He's
YouTube star?
Not anymore. He used to be.
I get all my news from 1994. So
YouTube star. Who's Justin Bieber?
1994. He wasn't even born in 94.
I don't think he was probably born. He probably wasn't born in 94.
Probably not.
Golly.
I know.
makes me feel
He was
old.
actually born in 1994 exactly.
He was born 94?
I was there.
March 1st.
I was helped,
You were at his
helped
birth?
his mom.
You were, most people don't
Struggling
know this.
single mom.
You were a...
I ran a nonprofit midwifing service.
You're a midwife, that's right. Spike the midwife.
Yep.
That's what they used to call him.
Never caught on. All
right,
it was. I
so-
refused to wear one of those net beards.
And that's what ended your career?
Ended it, yeah.
As a midwife.
Yeah.
Stupid. Justin Bieber. He apparently, according to TMZ, there's a documentary out right now called What Happened to Justin Bieber. TMZ investigates.
What happened?
What happened to Justin
horror.
Bieber? Here's
the heartbreaking tragedy that is Justin Bieber with his multiple homes, dozens of cars, hottest wife on the planet.
He's a wealthy guy. He's
What
a wealthy
loser.
guy. He's made a lot of money. He's made like $200 million.
Good gravy.
But there have been some questions about whether or not he's as financially literate.
Have people been questioning the financial literacy of Justin Bieber?
People have been questioning it because of some choices he's been making recently, selling his music catalog, all these different. He might also just be capitalizing on, a moment where he says, "Hey, it's a hot commodity right now. I can sell it."
Everybody's doing it.
Everybody is doing it. Absolutely. But so Sophia, you've been following the Justin Bieber saga a little bit. What's going on in the world of Justin Bieber right now?
Okay, well, again, it's all speculation.
Mm-hmm.
But separate from him just having a financial crash out, a lot of people have been speculating that he's having like a crash out in a mental sense. And a lot of people are saying it's still due to the fact that he's not over Selena Gomez.
What?
Oh, my God.
His ex from years ago? He's like remarried and he has a kid.
He's married. He has a baby. Selena Gomez just got engaged to Benny Blanco. It just happened to kind of coincide in a time in the media where he was seen outside, not looking his best, kind of seemed like he wasn't doing great.
Gotcha.
And then it happened to be
He
that...
had a used hat on?
Yeah.
How was he not looking his best? He was cleanly shaven.
She's also, by the way, his career at a point in the last few years was kind of like had been ahead of hers. Like when they...
Selena Gomez, you mean?
Ahead of Selena Gomez.
Yeah.
But then she's on the Only Murders in the Building,
and a great successful
which kind of like
show,
puts her
yeah,
into a
you bet.
real like sweet spot acting-wise. And I think she also owns what company does she own?
She owns Rare Beauty, which is a huge makeup line.
She's like a billionaire now, right?
Yeah, and she just dropped a new album with her fiance, who produced the whole thing.
Oh boy!
And what's the Biebs done?
What have you done for me lately?
Fathered a child.
We've all done that,
right? You don't see
No, I
Jake
have-
falling into misery.
I wonder if having a kid has kind of sent him down a path. You
think those 12
It's a
minutes a
bit-
day he has to spend with his kid taking its toll? Is that what you think? When the nanny's busy and he's
when the
actually
nanny's busy,
yeah.
he's just like it ruins him.
It's kind of guy that the biggest parenting thing he does is signing checks.
Well,
to
that's
pay the people who care and raise
listen,
his
people
children.
people need checks.
People need checks. Especially
They
people
need
who
checks.
care and raise your children. They need checks.
The thing is, his wife is really successful on her own.
Yeah, she's not doing it.
She has a beauty brand as
Is
well.
she a model too?
She's a model. She's a Baldwin. And she models, and she has her own beauty brand that also is very successful.
How could you be hurting for money? How could he be hurting?
Well,
I don't think that. Like, how do people go through money so fast?
It's stupid the way they spend. A lot of it's required in that lifestyle. You have to have an entourage. You have to have security. You have to travel. You have to be seen. You have to do all the things. But we're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars. And it's not like he's the only breadwinner in the house.
Yeah, you're right.
Totally. I mean, dude, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
He's getting taken probably by, I bet he's going through some horrible investments from, I got a buddy who's starting a thing who needs my help.
The
Boom,
thing
boom,
is,
boom.
he has made so much money. He's like $300 million or something that he's made during his career. Even if he had poorly invested $100 million,
right,
he should still be fine.
Newspaper sailboats.
His grandkids,
It's the future.
should still be fine for the rest of their lives.
Right.
As long as you're not living a crazy life.
Well,
but if you're living a crazy life,
I go to the video of him screaming through the neighborhood in a $300,000 car.
You're right. You're right. I'm rooting for him. I hope he does all right.
We want them all to do well. I hope they all do well.
He's got a kid.
man.
It's
Yeah.
a tough thing. All right, we got a lot more coming up. We're going to talk with that online influencer who helps people get ahead of and understand who they might be dating. Because there was a local guy that was released locally here who has a very bad past. And she kind of exposed him to local people
Providing
online.
an incredibly valuable service, I think.
Very interesting service.
Yeah.
We're going to talk to her next. Stick around. We'll be right back.
If you're wearing glasses or contacts, but you need reading glasses or bifocals now, you need to join Drs. Kopstein and King for the K2 Vision RLE live webinar this Thursday at noon to learn about refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision RLE. This free webinar is a perfect opportunity to meet the doctors and have them answer all your questions about K2 Vision RLE. Questions like, how much does RLE cost? Is financing available? Does insurance pay for RLE? These questions and lots more will be covered this Thursday at noon during the K2 Vision RLE free live webinar. K2 Vision surgeons have performed over 150,000 procedures. They know when RLE is right for you. K2 Vision RLE. No glasses, no contacts, no readers. Plus, no more cataracts. Don't miss the free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Register at K2VisionRLE.com. K2VisionRLE.com. That's K2VisionRLE.com.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
For 70 years, we've been known as the Humane Society of the United States. But as the challenges animals face have grown, so have we. We are now called Humane World for Animals. And with you on our side, we are going to end animal cruelty around the globe. Join us. Humane World for Animals. The end of animal cruelty.
Download the KIRO Newsradio app, where you can watch us live or stream us live anywhere, anytime.
How would this initiative, whatever this initiative is, how would he fund it?
Stay connected everywhere. Download the KIRO Newsradio app.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot doot, and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh yeah.
Then we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body?
Huh?
That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Before taking your next flight, you'll need to be prepared. Start off with a visit to realidwa.com.
New ID requirements for travel are here.
There are multiple forms of ID you can use.
Whatever option you choose, make sure you have it with you before heading to the airport.
That way, you can travel stress-free.
Make sure you're prepared so you can relax and enjoy your flight.
Real ID has arrived.
Visit realidwa.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Cammie McCormick. President Trump spoke by phone today with the Russian and Ukrainian presidents.
Trying to get that whole thing wrapped up. What a shame that it ever started in the first place.
Now he says the two countries will negotiate immediately on a ceasefire. CBS's Ed O'Keefe.
The phone call, at least today, could be seen as a jumpstart or a restart of those talks between the two countries, and the president saying, look, you sort this out, we'll cut some economic deals with you like we're cutting them around the rest of the world. But you got to sort this out first, and if the Pope offers you a place to meet and to stay, you should take him up on that.
Trump says the Pope would be very interested in hosting the talks. The Supreme Court today allowed the Trump administration to strip the legal protections of 350,000 Venezuelans, which could permit deportations. An air traffic control center in Philadelphia suffered another system outage today, as Olivia Rinaldi reports.
The FAA says the outage was brief
brief, lasting only 2 seconds, but happened at a time during high air traffic volume around 11:30 in the morning. And this is at least the fourth outage since April 28th.
The center handles flights in and out of Newark in New Jersey. Federal transportation officials are investigating the deadly crash of a Mexican Navy ship into New York's Brooklyn Bridge over the weekend. The NTSB's Michael Graham.
This is the start of a long process. We will not be drawing any conclusions. We will not speculate. We will also not be determining the probable cause while we're on scene.
There is more severe weather in the forecast today, including for areas hard hit over the weekend. CBS's Jim Krasula reports on the devastation in eastern Kentucky.
Tina Carnes has devoted herself to helping others, and she's suddenly now in need herself. Carnes, who heads up an organization that finds housing for people in eastern Kentucky, lost her home in the weekend tornado that tore across Laurel County.
It's done a 180 on me. Yeah, so I need help right now. I've lost everything.
Storms claimed at least 28 lives in Missouri and Kentucky.
Israel allowed humanitarian trucks into Gaza today, the first since the ceasefire fell apart. Linda Gradstein reports from Jerusalem.
The 5 trucks carrying baby food and other aid were the first humanitarian assistance to enter Gaza in almost 3 months, as aid organizations warned of growing malnutrition among children. The UN humanitarian chief said 4 more trucks were cleared to enter Gaza, which could happen tomorrow. 22 donor nations issued a statement demanding that Israel allow a full resumption of aid into Gaza immediately.
On Wall Street, the Dow Jones Industrials finished the day up 137 points. This is CBS News.
A word from Progressive Insurance. Life can be hard, so Progressive can make bundling your home and auto easy. Hope that helps. Learn more at Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
An update on a cold case investigation in Tacoma. But first, we're going to check our traffic from the Beacon Plumbing traffic desk. We are getting our typical in and out of Seattle slowing just a little bit early today. Seattle to Everett is creeping up to 39 minutes, and Seattle to Tacoma is about 50 minutes at this point. Nothing blocking, just a lot of heavy volume on I-5, and which is also backing up on the West Seattle Bridge at this point. Let me double check. It looks like there's nothing on the West Seattle Bridge, just a lot of volume there, and a previously cleared collision on I-90 westbound near Rainier Avenue. That's kind of slowing that all down. We're starting to get some slowing coming out of Bellevue from the I-90 merger down into Newcastle on 405 southbound. Bellevue to Renton is 27 minutes. And checking in on that previous collision in Bothell on 405 northbound, we're still about 23 minutes, which is a lot less than it was before. There had been a collision on 405 northbound that was cleared, and the residual slowing was slowing us down. This traffic report brought to you by Beacon Plumbing. For all of your heating, electrical, septic, and mechanical needs, stop freaking, call Beacon.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Jillian Raftery. Developing news in Tacoma as investigators continue to dig in the backyard of a home near the western part of the city. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has been there all day, and he joins us now live. James?
Jillian, there is now a larger contingent of investigators in this backyard. Under a tent, the digging continues, and they are sifting through dirt looking for evidence in a, quote, cold case. That's all Tacoma police will tell us right now. What we know is the lead investigator in the Tika Lewis case is in charge here. The 2-year-old disappeared from a bowling alley a short distance from this home in 1999. Neighbors like Stephanie McCleary remember the case very well.
It was sad at the time that nobody knew where she was, and now this in our own neighborhood.
Now, we don't have any confirmed information about exactly what they're looking for in this backyard. We're trying to piece it together with very little information from Tacoma police. They're holding it very close to the vest until they're finished with this investigation. Reporting live in Tacoma, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Thank you, James, and we will have more throughout the afternoon as we get that information. Seattle police are searching for a Tesla that was seen in the Pioneer Square neighborhood near the spot where 3 people were fatally shot and 1 was injured early Saturday. They're hoping the driver or dashcam video might provide clues. The driver is not a suspect. Today, SPD Chief Sean Barnes emphasized,
to the families of these victims, please know
that I have directed every resource necessary to investigate this case to bring the person or persons responsible to justice.
There have been no arrests so far. The motorcyclist charged with hit and run after colliding with a couple in a South Seattle crosswalk is pleading not guilty. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey reports.
Prosecutors say 42-year-old Tyler O'Brien ran a red light on MLK Way in late April. A 57 and 59-year-old husband and wife were hit. He suffered broken vertebrae. Police say she died from a head injury. Prosecutors say O'Brien's driver's license was suspended at the time of the collision. He's charged with felony hit and run and vehicular homicide and assault. He's being held on $500,000 bail. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
A little bit happier news. Girls flag football is coming to Everett Public Schools next winter. It's the first varsity edition since bowling more than 20 years ago. Athletic Director Danny Mundell tells the Everett Herald many girls already love football, and now they'll get to play and not just watch. Tryouts and schedules will be announced later this year. Your weather report is brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. As you can tell, the rain is burning off, giving way to partial clouds and some sun breaks this afternoon. A high of 59 degrees, overnight lows in the high 40s. Tomorrow, about the same weather, 59 degrees, partly cloudy. Same for Wednesday. We're warming up to 65 by Thursday, with the possibility for rain Friday and over the weekend. It's 59 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News. It's the all-new Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio.
Welcome back to the show. 2 hours down, one to go. Don't worry, we got a lot more time together. I know people get very depressed between 2 and 3 o'clock. Not because we're on the air. They get depressed because they're thinking about their time between 3 and noon of the next day.
Yeah, it's the worst 21 hours of my day.
Worst 21 hours. Yeah, and we get that all the time. People are texting us all the time. So worst 21
I'm
hours
sorry,
of my
honey.
day.
My wife listens to the show. I hope after this. I hope she'll still listen.
All right. A lot of stuff to get to. This topic is actually a really serious one, and it's a really interesting thing. The internet's a really wild place because you can get all this information that wouldn't otherwise be available.
Yeah.
The internet's also really crazy because you might end up getting connected up with somebody who you wouldn't otherwise meet. And
who may not be who they represent themselves to be.
May not be the best person for you.
Right.
So listen to this. There's a TikToker who goes by Ash Cat. Her name is Ashley, but I think she goes by Ash Cat, and you can follow her on TikTok if you're interested in this. And she runs a great TikTok page called Ash Cat Pod, @AshCatPod, and she highlights. There's something called writeaprisoner.com.
Oh, I know. I heard of this.
Have you heard of this?
This is a site where inmates seeking pen pals.
Yes.
Post themselves
or romantic connections with people.
Things develop on their own. That's good.
Yeah.
That. They're connecting the outside world to both men and women. Serving time, paying their debt to society.
That's a whole thing. There's a whole bunch of people who are attracted to people behind bars. The question you got to ask yourself is, what got them behind bars in the first place?
That's.
And then what are they going to be like when they get out? So Ash Cat joins us now. Ash Cat, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for coming on with us. We appreciate it.
I think we just lost her now.
Just lost her. Okay, we're going to get her back on here.
Okay.
We're going to get her back on.
I hope it wasn't my description of the people, because I hope I didn't get that wrong. I think I got that right.
No, you got that right. Okay. Listen to this. We're going to get her on just a second here. There's a website. It's called writeaprisoner.com. People can go on there. And again, I don't know the kind of person who would sign up for this, but you've heard of like jailhouse wives?
Sure.
Women who are attracted to, like I was watching this documentary on, is it Scott Peterson? The guy with, you remember the Lacey Peterson case?
Yes, Lacey Peterson.
Down in the Bay Area?
Yeah.
He's like a very popular guy. He's not a horrible looking guy, but or the Menendez brothers.
Right.
You're meeting people, even though you're behind bars. It doesn't mean that your romantic options shut down because there's all these people who will contact you. I think there's a fame element to it as well.
I think that's part of it. There's the I can fix this guy element to it as well. Yeah. I'm assuming, I'm sure that Ashley knows more about this than we do. But her mission is to let people who decide to get involved take up these inmates on the offer of becoming a pen pal. Ashley's point is to make people aware of who they're really talking to.
Yeah, make them aware of it.
What their history really is like. Because some of these guys, I don't know who would want to interact with them in society.
We'll get Ashley on in just 1 second. We're still trying to get her on, but this is she was talking to Fox 13 recently about this. Listen to this.
And I couldn't imagine being a woman in Seattle right now, and I couldn't imagine being his victims. And I do believe people can be rehabilitated. I've actually spent a while incarcerated as well. So, but I also have seen people in there that portray themselves as they're changing, and they're not really.
All right, so now we welcome back to the show. We did get her on. Ash Katz joins us now. Ash, thank you so much for coming on with us. We appreciate your time.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
So, there she is. We can see her now. And if you're watching YouTube, you can watch her live with us. How did you stumble upon this strange world of writeaprisoner.com, and how did you decide to kind of make this something you wanted to highlight for everybody else out there?
So it's actually ironic because my mom wrote prisoners throughout my childhood. And she had me writing them too when I was a kid, like sending them Christmas cards and sending them like birthday letters and stuff like that. So when I saw there was a website for it, it was kind of like a piece of my childhood, I guess.
Why? Just as a quick side note, was it like a church outreach or something? Like, why were you guys writing prisoners? Or why was she having you write prisoners as a child?
Well, my uncle was in prison, so he would connect my mother with his cellmates, and she wrote them for years and years and years. So.
Wow. I can see where this could be a very humane and thoughtful and lovely thing to do.
Sure.
A lot of guys, as you mentioned, a lot of guys who are on the inside trying to better themselves, pay their dues. And they're lonely guys, and having somebody from the outside world send even a Christmas card, it could make a world of difference, could really keep somebody on the right path as they're trying to rehabilitate.
Yeah.
And not everybody's in prison for the same thing, obviously. Right. And the people that you're highlighting, like the one who was, there was a guy released locally here, and maybe you can tell us a little bit about him, but he was released. He has some horrible rape convictions in his past, and then he was just released out into Seattle. Now he's apparently looking for love. Is that how he came across your desk?
Yes, he said he was looking for friendship, but he's open to more. He just got out on May 12th, allegedly in Seattle.
And what was his background? Like, what was it that caught your attention about him? And how did you stumble upon him? Did somebody send him to you?
Yes, actually, one of my followers sent him as a recommendation story. So when I looked into it, I noticed he was getting out the very next day. And when I saw his charges, I was like, people need to be warned about this guy. I mean, he's a serial rapist, and he also has previous convictions of domestic violence and breaking no contact orders. When he was a juvenile, he exposed himself on 3 different occasions. Ugh. I mean, this guy is just ongoing. And
he also in one of these convictions, Fox 13 had this detail, and probably they got it from you, but he pretended to be a student in order to gain access into somebody's house. Tell us a little bit about that.
Right. He said that he was doing some school project for homes, and he asked if he can come inside the home, which he did live there before. So he knew how the home was set up. He lived there before the new people moved in. But he asked to come inside and do measurements on the rooms. And as soon as he walked in, he put his hand over her mouth and told her that he would kill her children if she did not obey him.
And now this guy's...
And the baby was trapped to his chest. So she had a newborn baby on her chest.
That's insane. And he's now been released allegedly into the Seattle area, and he's walking around and he's meeting people and connecting. And so how long have you been doing this, and what kind of response have you been getting online?
I've been doing this for probably about a year. The account I have now is a new account. I did have an older one that was taken down by another pen pal website. They wanted me to quit doing stories on their profile, so they had that old account taken down. But overall, I've had a lot of support. There's some people who don't like what I do because they think I'm ruining prisoners' chances of rehabilitation when they get out. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, I don't care about rapists and how they're perceived out when they get out. It's just, that's not my worries. I'm worried about potential victims.
What does it take to meet the threshold to put somebody on your radar and make you post about them? Violent crimes, murderers, sex crimes, violent crimes. Any one of those would probably warrant notification?
Right. I've done a few stories on, good prisoners who are in there for, drug addiction, that kind of stuff. And I make it clear that I do hope the best for them. And I was kind of just helping them, maybe get pen pals because I believe that they deserved them. But for the most part, I only cover stories on, I think, evil men and women.
I think there's a shortcoming of public notification. I mean, there are rights involved, privacy rights of inmates who have done their time, paid their debts. And so there's limitations on what can be told to the general public when someone is released in your area. But we as a public have a right to know.
Yeah, but if you're on a sex offender registry, you have to go and make yourself aware of your neighbor. If you want to move into a neighborhood, you have to let your neighbors know, like, hey, just want to let you know I have this in my past and yada, yada. They have that right to know. And she's doing a great service.
Yeah, I think you are too.
Because, and we're talking to Ash Cat Pod. That's your TikTok page, right? Ash Cat Pod. Cat with a K, all one word. And I do think it's really valuable just to let people know, because you never know who you're going to meet online. And what a nightmare scenario it would be if you meet a guy who maybe is we've all seen the horrible stories of like serial killers and stuff. I mean, like think about locally here in Seattle, the Ted Bundy types who are Mr. Charming, has a good job, looks like a nice guy, knows how to talk to women, and then he ends up being a monster. People need to be aware of where these guys have a background and what they're, what they were in for. I think that makes total sense.
Yeah, and I agree. I think Philip Baldwin, the guy who's released out in Seattle, he reminds me just of the Ted Bundy story. It's there.
Is he, do you know if he's allowed to leave the area, or is he just in Seattle? I mean, like, how does that work when somebody gets released? They're generally in an area where they have to check in with a probation officer and things like that, right?
Right. I'm not completely sure where he is. He could be in a halfway house, but I am assuming that he's not allowed to leave his county unless he got probation from permission from his probation officer.
Sure. All right. Well, super interesting. And if anybody's interested in this, and if you're out there right now and you're online and you're dating, especially in like the Seattle King County area,
and most single people are,
I would highly recommend.
Platforms.
And I imagine people are already doing that. Have you found that to be true, Ashley? Like, are people? You can Google search anyone these days, and a lot of stuff pops up. What would your recommendation be for people who are out there looking for Mr. Right or Mrs. Right?
Just do a background check on them. I've gone as far as hiring private investigators to do background checks on people before I bring them around my children. It's a lot of money, but in my opinion, it's always worth it to keep yourself and your children safe.
Sure.
Do you have any, before we let you go, do you have any kind of vetting service that you do before you will put somebody up on your website to make sure that you're not giving, the wrong information about somebody? Because when you mark somebody on your website, that's a lot of people see it.
Right. I do make sure, I try to make sure it's the same city that they say that they're from. The mugshots are usually there as well. I always try to make sure that I'm getting the right story on the right person.
Yeah. Good stuff. Well, it's also very scary stuff, but I'm glad you're out there doing it. Yeah, I think people need that information. Ash Cat Pod, check that out on TikTok, and thank you for coming on and making the time today.
Thank you guys so much.
All right. We'll talk to you again. Okay. Man, that's crazy, isn't it? Isn't it crazy that's a thing that people do?
As a parent, it's terrifying.
Terrifying. I don't have girls. I'm so thankful. My wife would love a baby girl. She would love to have a baby girl. But I think like down the road when they start dating, it's a whole different experience for a father thinking about your daughter, like who she's going to meet.
I've never had sons, so I don't. I don't know the softer side of being a parent with a dating kid, right? Not to belittle the dangers that young boys face too. They face.
Oh yeah. But
and especially with regard to online, Ashley's bid is, and her theme, if I can, is that people misrepresent themselves, and she wants people to know exactly who they're getting involved with. And that's true for every parent.
Smart.
Especially on the internet these days. People, what they call it catfishing, when they misrepresent who they are to people. And that's like the funny, lighter side of stuff. It gets deadly dangerous.
It's crazy.
With people doing what they do these days.
Crazy. Yeah. All right. Can we switch over to something else real fast?
Please.
Can we talk? We need a totally different thing. Can we talk real fast about, did you see all the Biden stuff that came out over the weekend? Was it Friday?
I think it might have been Saturday.
Maybe Saturday?
Yeah, because it's wildfire today. It's everywhere today.
The cancer, the diagnosis, and it's fairly late stage, right? Didn't he say like on the scale of 1 to 10, how difficult or how much it is spread? He's a 9?
Well, President Biden's, it was released this weekend that President Biden has been diagnosed with prostate cancer, and so aggressive and so late into the stages that it has permeated his bones.
Mm-hmm. Metastasized,
Yeah, this is the same way we lost my father-in-law.
Oh, that's horrible.
He had prostate cancer decades ago. And part of the story that we're seeing about the former president's diagnosis and where the medical state he finds himself in hear lots of different stories about how long people can survive with prostate cancer. It's the most common form of cancer among men over a certain age, all the different peripherals. My father-in-law lived decades, had surgery early, but then as cancer does, it comes back. It finds a way and it comes back, it becomes more aggressive, and it becomes more permeating into your body, and it metastasizes into his bones. That's how we lost Dad.
My dad had it too a couple of years ago, and it is like for men, if you're going to get a cancer, it is the thing that they tend to catch early because there are really good tests for it. You can get it. You can. Very simple tests like P tests. You can there's elevated
they can
markers.
find markers. Yeah, exactly. And then and the ability to detect has been growing by leaps and bounds. Treatments have been growing by leaps and bounds. Catching cancer early is always the key to the longest survival. But what's coming next, and it's already started, is when did he know? When did he have it? When did he know? What did they say? What did they hide? It's already becoming a political football.
First of all, we should say we wish him well, obviously.
Yeah.
And, hopefully he recovers from it.
Of course,
and
our thoughts and our prayers to the Biden family, and with this horrific diagnosis and be so late in the aggressive stages of the advancement of this cancer, there's not much that can be, apparently, that can be done for the former president except to manage what time he has.
I did read that there are, he does have immunotherapies that he is going to be able to get.
Chemo, radiation, immunotherapy.
Which will help.
Yeah, lots of different things can be done to make his time as prolong it as long as it can and make it as comfortable as it can be made.
Do you think there's obviously people are already talking about it, but do you think that there's any credence to some of the discussions about how long he's had this, and is this just a way to distract from there's a book. Jake Tapper wrote a book.
There's an audio release of a special investigative. They had a special. What's the word I'm looking for?
The Her report.
Yeah, the Her report. There's now audio coming out about that, and so this is all part of the bigger. And this is part of the.
And
we're
not political, so let's not get political.
I know,
but like there's a conversation happening about like why release this information now.
Right, exactly, and it's I think it's being championed by the conservative side because it's a pleasant distraction from all the things that are being thrown at the current president.
Let me play this audio real fast.
Sure.
And we're not a political show. We don't do politics anymore.
But it's part of everybody's life every day.
This is Brian Seltzer on CNN.
Yeah.
The timing, Jessica, is just extraordinary. We know from the statement from his personal spokesman that Biden learned of the diagnosis on Friday. Well, what was the biggest Biden story on Friday? It was the release of those audio excerpts from his conversations with Robert Hur back in 2023. This was the audio that Axios obtained, almost certainly from the Trump administration, showing memory lapses.
And then, like you mentioned, his colleague over there, that's Brian Seltzer, but his colleague Jake Tapper at CNN has a book that comes out. Does it come out this week or is it
came out last week? I thought, or the pre-excerpts were released last week.
It's the excerpt, but I think it comes out. It might come out this week.
Okay.
But the whole entire book is about the cover-up of Biden's health behind the scenes. That's what the book is about.
That's what the book's about. Yeah.
And so I'm wondering if there is some, if there is something to the timing of all of this, because it is a very tough thing to get to that late stage for prostate cancer without having some. He's the president of the United States. You'd think he would have taken a P test sometime in the last few years.
Well, there are valid questions that deserve to be asked about how sick was the president while he was in office.
Yeah.
Because the American people have a right to know the accurate health of their commander-in-chief, the elected leader of their country.
Sure.
As we do with every president. So
it kind of seems at this point, though, he's not the president anymore.
That's kind of where I'm at,
It's a sad state that he's got it. And
Let's not make political hay out of it.
If the Tapper book wasn't coming out about the potential cover-up is what they're saying, the cover-up of not letting anybody know his true, mental state and what else they might have been covering up in the background, I don't know that it would be like such massive news.
Well, I think the president's this health diagnosis is massive
it's a big deal. No, it's a big deal.
And the questions deserve to be asked about the timing of this.
We'll find out.
I can't imagine they were sitting on this till they got bad news and needed to change the subject, though.
But you talk to people who have gone through prostate cancer.
You know a long way coming. You see this coming a long time down the road.
Years ahead of time.
I know.
And so how could you not know? And is it even believable that the president of the United States wouldn't know until the very, very late stage? That's a question mark people have to answer.
It's hard to know how aggressive and how fast cancer spreads from being, I have no idea,
We're not
being
doctors.
gone. We're not doctors.
We're not doctors.
Yeah.
You can count on that. All right, we got a lot more coming up. We got your text messages next, which is going to be a lot of fun. A lot of good response from the audience today. Get on over to YouTube. Check out our YouTube live stuff right now.
Got a Robot Menace story to wrap the show up with today, too.
We got a Menace story?
I think so. The robot, you see the video of the robot?
Oh, yeah.
Right? One of America's favorite pastimes. We're going to lose it to robotic. We're going to lose it to the robots.
Unbelievable. We'll play this video later. It's crazy.
It's frightening to me. It is.
It is frightening.
It is.
All right. We'll be right back.
This hour is brought to you by Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens.
An illegal alien from Guatemala charged with raping a child in Massachusetts. An MS-13 gang member from El Salvador accused of murdering a Texas man. A Venezuelan charged with filming and selling child pornography in Michigan. These are just some of the heinous migrant criminals caught because of President Donald J. Trump's leadership. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Under President Trump, attempted illegal border crossings are at the lowest levels ever recorded, and over 100,000 illegal aliens have been arrested. If you are here illegally, you're next. You will be fined nearly $1,000 a day, imprisoned, and deported. You will never return. But if you register using our CBP Home app and leave now, you could be allowed to return legally. Do what's right. Leave now. Under President Trump, America's laws, border, and families will be protected.
Sponsored by the United States Department of Homeland Security.
Hi, it's John Curley. Longevity Medical Clinic has been helping people live longer, healthier lives for more than 25 years. I've recently talked with Dr. Mixon about his approach to proactively focusing on prevention. Dr. Mixon, I first met you in 2009, and I went in there and I told you I wasn't feeling well, couldn't gain any muscle mass, couldn't sleep well, I was stressed out, and you looked at me and you said, yeah, I know what your problem is.
And all we did was we measured your values and we moved your values back to those of a nice, healthy 25-year-old man.
I have taken your blood work to my doctor, and he was shocked. He couldn't believe the depth in which you study my blood.
We need to draw a distinction between living a long time and getting old. And that's what longevity is all about, is we are here to do the measurements and help you fix those problems.
So get your free health analysis. Go to longevitymedicalclinic.com. That's longevitymedicalclinic.com.
It started as a puddle.
Where?
In the shower.
Uh-oh.
Then the kitchen sink.
Started backing up?
Yeah.
I know where this is going.
Clogged up.
Right. No problem.
Beg your pardon?
There's no clog we can't clear.
You're Dan.
From Apollo Plumbing.
This is going to get pricey.
How about $83?
To clear my drain?
Apollo Plumbing clears main drains every day.
For $83?
83 or it's free.
What's the catch?
No catch. We'll even do a camera inspection.
Why's that?
It's the best way to find the cause of your clog.
And it's included?
No extra charge. Truth is, we hate clogs.
I don't love them.
Seen them all.
Ew.
I promise, there's no clog Apollo can't clear.
Guaranteed.
83 or free.
Goodbye, slow drains.
All it takes is an accessible clean out.
And Apollo gets my drains draining again.
You call, we come, it's fixed.
My heroes.
Just doing our job.
Thank you, Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
It's Jim Singletary, Chief Roof Nerd at RoofSmart, here to tell you the right way to choose a roofer. And it's not by choosing the lowest bid. Just comparing numbers? Terrible idea. A low price doesn't tell you if the job will be done right, and it definitely doesn't tell you anything about the contractor. Instead, treat hiring a roofer like a job interview. Ask them, why did my old roof fail early? What's the right solution for me, and why? Have you been around for at least 10 years? A new roof is a huge investment, and the job shouldn't go to the lowest bidder. It should go to the most qualified. At RoofSmart, we've got over a decade of experience, a team of more than 50 full-time pros, and real answers, not just numbers. Plus, we're certified, insured, and properly licensed. We'd love to apply for your roofing job. Call 206-487-4877 or visit GetRoofSmart.com today. That's 206-487-4877 or online at GetRoofSmart.com.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit MuckleshootCasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot.
Hey, how's your money situation? Are you ready for retirement? Well, if you want to know what the pros are doing to make wealth multiply and retire like royalty, then you need to listen to this show, Sound Path Through Retirement, with Ben Koval and Matt Leibarger. Get your money right and tune in every weekend, Saturdays at 10 a.m. and noon on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Guys, thinking about testosterone replacement therapy? Revive Men's Health can help you get started if you're ready to book your free T-check. Visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. That's Revive, REVIBE, menshealth.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Jillian Raftery. Today, Seattle Police Chief Sean Barnes spoke about the mass shooting in Seattle's Pioneer Square neighborhood early Saturday. 3 people died and 1 was injured.
We do not, will not tolerate violence in our city.
He says police are searching for a Tesla that was seen in the area where the shooting happened. SPD also plans to increase patrols there. You can check mynorthwest.com for more information and a picture of that car. Starting today, there are new rules for private after-hours clubs that operate in Seattle. It's an effort to curb violence, like the deadly shooting at a Rainier Beach hookah lounge earlier this year. At the time, City Council member Mark Sullivan said,
I am tired of adding another name to the list of people who have died at these establishments.
Under the rules, clubs will need at least 2 security guards and video surveillance to operate. Protesters interrupted a keynote address by Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella today in Seattle, trying to get Microsoft to stop doing business with the Israeli military.
And when it comes to VS Code, as a Microsoft worker, I refuse to be complicit in this genocide. Free Palestine! Free Palestine!
Earlier this year, a report from the Associated Press revealed that Microsoft Azure technology was being used by the Israeli military to select bombing targets. Microsoft denies that the technology has led to any deaths in Gaza. Former President Biden has been diagnosed with an aggressive form of prostate cancer that has spread to his bones. CBS's Willie James Inman. In a statement from his team, they're essentially saying that this is treatable, that they can treat this cancer, and that the former president is evaluating his options with his family and his doctor. The man behind that bombing outside an IVF clinic in California may have ties to Pierce County. KIRO 7 TV reports the man, 25-year-old Guy Bartkus, is suspected of setting off a blast outside a fertility clinic in Palm Springs. He died in that explosion. In a manifesto, Bartkus mentioned the death of his best friend Sophie, who died on Fox Island last month. Her boyfriend, Lars Nelson, has been charged with second-degree murder. He told officers it was suicide, but court documents say she was shot multiple times. Nelson is due in court today. Investigators are still reviewing the potential connection between the 2 cases. Now to traffic. We're starting from the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk. We are starting to see some real commute slowdowns. We're going to start in the north end here. We're starting to see slowing on I-5 on and off from about Shoreline to Marysville. It's not that many minutes extra, but it still is a burden. And of course, that's starting I-5 northbound from about Boeing Field into I-90 is the thickest of it. Seattle to Everett is about 43 minutes now. Seattle to Tacoma, an hour and 3 minutes, which is 13 minutes more than it was about an hour ago. 405 north and south, some spotty slowing from Bellevue up into the Linwood area, and also in Renton, but we aren't seeing any collisions so far. We're also seeing a little bit of odd slowing from Auburn getting into Tacoma. That drive is about 33 minutes. Nothing showing on the traffic cameras, but we'll keep you updated. This report brought to you by Beacon Plumbing. For all your heating, electrical, septic, and mechanical needs, stop freaking, call Beacon. And your weather update is brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. We're warming up to 59 degrees of our high today. Overnight lows in the high 40s. 59 degrees tomorrow and warming up to 65 by Thursday. I'm seeing the forecast changing so that chances for rain are a week away now. So there's that to look forward to. It's 59 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the show. This is a really fun part of the day. We get to go through your text messages you might send us on the YouTube page, which people are loving. If you're not on it yet, go out to youtube.com, search KIRO News Radio, and the Jake and Spike Show will be available under the KIRO News Radio link. Just click it. That's what the kids say. Just give it a click.
You'll be glad you did.
You'll be glad you did.
My boss will be glad you did.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. It gives us a chance to do more fun videos. We like it. It's a lot of fun. All right. A lot of text to get to. Sophia, why don't you start us off today? Sophia is in and been doing a fantastic job. Laura's out today, but Sophia, well done so far.
Thank you.
Thank you. Why don't you start us off?
Yeah, so at the beginning of the show, you were talking about how sports season is finally done for your kids. But Vicky in 360 was actually giving you a moment of praise. She said, I was child number 3 after my parents had done every activity with their first kids. I played all sports, but mom and dad just weren't interested anymore, which is the parent I now get. When we had our 2 daughters, I was determined to support any activity in which they showed interest, which meant tightly scheduling sports and other stuff. I ran myself ragged, but I never regretted it. Good on you, Jake.
Oh, that's nice. Vicky in the 360. It's tough. Vicky had 2 kids.
Right.
I'm not saying she's an amateur. She sounds like a lovely lady. But I have twice as many children as Vicky does. So the prospect of me, and again, God bless Vicky. I like her. She texts a lot to the show. She's salt of the earth. But the idea that I'm going to follow these kids around for the rest of my life to their different sporting events scares the hell out of me. I'm so excited that they're done for the summer.
Yeah, it's good that you guys are making that a priority to spend family time together and not chase the sports because it's coming.
There it is.
It's coming.
There it is. It's the family. Honestly,
it's the family time.
It is the family time.
Yeah.
When we're not running around to their different athletic pursuits, which again, these are lifelong memories. They're great. I love them.
Team
the
sports
pictures
are great.
Priceless.
Yeah.
Especially on portrait mode. Everybody looks great. But the idea that you're then just sitting there watching your kids play versus, so like for the summer, we take a summer break. We don't play sports during the summer. And there's a lot of people who do. It's a great time to play sports, especially in Washington State.
Yeah.
But in our family, just we want to slow it down. We've stopped everything for the summertime. We stopped swimming lessons. We stopped everything, and we're just kind of gonna let the kids. And also, how important is it for your kids to be bored? I want my kids to learn how to be bored.
Ooh.
Nobody's
you're right.
bored
Never anymore. It's constant stimulation, constant appeasement. Yep.
Where's a screen I can look at? Where's a Beanie Baby or whatever kids are doing these days? And I just want my kids to go outside and just like kick a rock. You know what I mean? Or like play in the dirt. Get your hands dirty.
Go build
You've got a good life.
You gonna get him a zip line?
We are going to do it. We're going to build a zip line.
I know you're talking about that.
Send them outside, build a zip line.
Good physical outdoor activity.
They're just inside all the time playing with these Beanie Babies. Like, put the Beanie Babies away.
I didn't know Beanie Babies had a return. I thought that was like.
I got about 400 of them if you need extras for your kids to play with.
Someday you're going to pay for your retirement on Beanie Babies.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah,
you have a Princess Di Bear?
I get one. Yes, I do. Brand new one in a clear plastic box. Is it in a
box?
It's in a clear plastic, in mint condition with the tag still attached.
You know what that's worth?
I've heard.
What have you heard?
I've heard $10K.
Really?
Yeah. But yeah, find me a guy with $10K in his pocket and he's got himself a Princess Di Bear.
Sophia,
I would sell it in a heartbeat.
Look up a Princess Di mint condition Beanie Baby and find out what it's worth.
One of the
right
first issues, not one of those knockoffs a year later from Ty, same company.
From Ty,
I'm talking
age
about
appropriate.
First weekend. Me and a bunch of grandmas at a Hallmark store at 8 a.m. on a Sunday morning waiting for this thing to be thrown out there.
One caveat, if it's worth less than $10,000, we're not in the business of killing
shattering dreams and breaking hearts.
I don't want to hear about it.
Yeah,
if it's worth less than $10,000, just give me a wink and we'll move on.
All right, on the...
It's way more than that.
It's worth more than 10 grand.
More
Spike,
than?
you're rich. What's it worth?
There's one, again, it's all over. There's one on Etsy that's being sold for $292,000.
Yeah, that ain't happening. That ain't happening. It's made from Princess Diana's actual DNA.
290.
On eBay. One person selling that on eBay.
295,000. How many bids?
None.
None bids.
No
bids yet.
I don't think anyone's bidding on. It says or best offer. It was $325,000, but it's now 10% off.
Marked price to move.
Unbelievable.
Okay.
Spike, you're sitting on a gold mine.
Yes. Anybody with gold, give me a call. I'm happy to sell that thing.
Quick side note.
Sure.
I know that we're short on time and we've gotten to nothing. But have you seen that? Movie about Beanie Babies? The guy who was bringing them into the country.
No.
I forget the name of it. I think Jack Black might have been in it. I'm not completely sure. Can you look up Beanie Baby movie Jack Black?
Or are you talking about the Beanie Bubble?
The Beanie Bubble. Who stars in that movie? Is it Jack Black?
It's Zach Galifianakis.
Zach Galifianakis.
Okay.
Same look.
Same look.
Same
dim look on his face.
Zach Galifianakis. Super funny comedian, just like Jack Black. Very likable. Go watch it. It's
the
really
Beanie
good.
Bubble.
Beanie Bubble.
On the new 2 a.m. ordinance, Bobby in Spanaway says the bar I used to work at would stop serving alcohol at 2. They would lock the doors and have what they called sober hour. They did it so people who would not go home drunk. Right. And they serve breakfast until 4 a.m. and coffee. They'd lock you in and sober you up. That's awesome.
There might be actually some rules they're breaking if you're actually holding people against their will.
Well,
I don't know if you're allowed to do that.
I think if you lock the front door and you don't let anybody else in, you've got a client base inside that's already been carded. You're not serving alcohol.
They did it
and
so
you're
people
serving
are not-
food.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I like the aim.
The
is
intent
sober
is
people up,
fantastic, yeah.
and the food is nice.
Yeah.
I'm going to rush through a few of these live studio streams.
Sure, yeah.
Nosh on YouTube says, I'm always on the road when you guys are on the air. I've been listening to you guys for a very long time. This is the first time seeing you both. I think you're both the most handsome people I've ever seen.
That's not what it said.
No, I added that. I just want you to know I love the show. That's so nice. Nancy says, good afternoon all. Was going to go to the gym and listen to you, but tweaked my back. So watching at home on the live feed. Nancy, I'm kind of happy you got hurt today, actually. So you can watch us. But all the best and speedy recovery. David in 206 says, introducing Jake and Spike Underground. That's another good name for the Studio B.
What if we did the show as Australians and called it Down Under? Right down under with Jake and Spike. Right? We'll get live critters in there.
That's it. We should get live critters.
Get the Outback to sponsor the whole thing. We'd have blooming onions as far as your eye could see.
I could eat blooming onions all day.
All day long. Brown bread. Stuff of heaven.
It's delicious.
Sorry.
I love blooming onions.
God, we want a sponsorship so bad.
I would actually like to see some critters down there. That'd be fun.
Would that be right?
Not mice. I'd like a person to bring them in.
Yeah, like crazy wild things in cages.
Wild, yeah.
You have a wild kingdom down there.
Yep, absolutely. All right, Sophia, hit us up with another one here. Something else. Some other topic.
Yeah, another topic or more from the live stream?
Give me Sully's road rage. Got any of that?
Yeah.
Sully's road rage.
On the road rage, Max in the 425 said, minivan drivers are the most angry repressed drivers. Pickup drivers are just blank holes.
What? I've been both of those drivers. They're not repressed and they're not a-holes.
I've driven a minivan. Was repressed for a decade. And the worst road rage I ever had was with a guy in a pickup truck.
Really?
Yeah, guy I thought was going to get killed.
Can I give you a little advice?
Sure. Beanie Baby on the dashboard? Defuse the whole thing?
If you're gonna late merge, a lot of people talk about zipper merging.
Yeah.
A lot of people talk zipper merging these days.
Sure.
Hashtag zipper merge. You got to be careful who you cut in front of.
Yeah.
I never zipper merge in front of a big truck.
No.
Never.
No.
A Prius, all day.
All day long.
All day long.
Yep. Amen.
I don't have to worry about that person.
No.
A minivan.
They're going to match with a charging cord?
That's a question mark. A minivan is a question mark.
That's an unknown commodity.
If that person's already angry because they're driving a van, and there's some fine vans out there. I'm not knocking these people.
Yeah.
I've driven a van for years. Not currently, but I have.
Best car I ever owned was a Honda Odyssey.
It's a fine vehicle.
Despite what Deadpool and Wolverine will tell you.
It's a fine vehicle. All right, final one, Spike. Give us one more real quick.
Okay, on Joe Biden's cancer, Bob in Bothell says, Mr. Biden is 83 years old. Send him a prayer and then shut up. And he's not talking to us. He's talking to the entire of media. Send him a prayer and then shut it up.
Okay.
Not just saying.
Thank you, Bob.
Just saying.
Okay. Last one on Chris. Margarita.
Go ahead.
Marguerite and Lacey says Sully's a beast. You didn't listen to that
I should've
segment.
ended on that.
Go back
Sully's
and listen to that segment. 1:30, Chris Sullivan, he got in a road rage incident, and he ended it with his mouth.
Yeah. He shut that guy back into his vehicle.
It's pretty great. Yep. You didn't realize Chris was such a man, but he is all man. All right, we got a lot more coming up. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Time is running out to save during our preseason AC sale happening now at Bob's Heating and Air Conditioning. Don't miss your chance to save 10% on a new air conditioner, heat pump, or ductless system to keep your home cool all summer long. Join thousands of satisfied customers and put your trust in the team voted best in the Pacific Northwest year after year. Hurry and call Bob's for your free AC estimate today.
Bob's Heating and Air Conditioning. Call Bob.
The markets and the economy will change, but you should always know what you can rely on from your financial advisor. I'm John Ramsire with Baird Private Wealth Management in Seattle. With deep planning and investment expertise, Baird's financial advisors have guided individuals and families through changing markets for more than 100 years. And in all that time, our guiding principle has never changed. Our clients come first, always. Discover the Baird difference at rwbaird.com/Seattle.
Why is K2 Vision RLE a permanent solution to glasses, contacts, and readers? How is it that you'll never develop a cataract after K2 Vision RLE? And how is RLE different from LASIK?
Hey, it's Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision RLE. We'll answer those questions and others when you join us for our free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Andy, what are some of the other questions you hear?
Well, how long is the procedure and recovery? Or who's a good candidate for RLE?
And we'll also answer, how much does RLE cost? Is there financing available? Does insurance pay for RLE?
Find out how K2 Vision RLE is the permanent solution to glasses, contacts, and readers.
And cataracts too.
Right, no more cataracts.
K2 Vision's free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Space will be limited, so register now at k2visionrle.com.
Join us at our free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Sign up at k2visionrle.com.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use. Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
If you want a dream bathroom without a humongous price tag, now's the time to call Bathfitter Northwest. Ursula Roytine here. I picked Bathfitter because they are the original one-day bath remodeler. They're a local family-owned business that's been around for 40 years. They own every step in the process to make sure you get the best quality product and the best value. Now get 0% interest for 24 months. Call the people I trust to do the job right, Bathfitter, or visit bathfitternw.com.
Safety comes first. When money is tight, don't neglect maintenance on your vehicle. Keep it safe. At Bucky's Complete Auto, we have you covered with available financing. For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto has been servicing and repairing cars and trucks with modern-day technology and good old-fashioned customer service. There's a Bucky's just about everywhere for oil changes, wiper blades, brakes, tire rotation, tune-ups, and factory maintenance. No appointment necessary and financing's available. Check buckys.com for the location near you.
Ryan was in pain.
Sharp pain across the front of my kneecaps and had just gotten progressively worse over the years.
And he soon learned the reason for the pain.
Yeah, there was, damaged cartilage on the tops of my kneecap.
And it was slowing him down.
Activities I really enjoyed, hiking, weightlifting, were being significantly impacted by this sharp pain in my knees.
So Ryan chose stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. And now,
I take my hips below my knee with no pain whatsoever. They feel strong, they feel stable.
Which means, yes, he is back to weightlifting.
I feel like I have brand new knees. It's an incredible transition from where it was to where it is now.
So don't let the pain get the last word. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Get the facts here from the patients. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
I anticipate being able to really accelerate beyond what I was previously capable of doing.
Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start looking and feeling your best with Hair Grow by New Nordic. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or at your local CVS. Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on mynorthwest.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
Welcome back to the show. We have just a few minutes left together. Don't be sad. We're going to be back here tomorrow at noon. But if you are sad, that actually makes us feel good. So your tears, we're not tear suckers per se.
No, but it does feel really nice to know you'll be missed.
It feels nice to know that you miss us so much. That is a nice thing.
Help me get my head to sleep on that pillow tonight.
Here's a nice thing that people can do, actually. And I've gotten a lot of text messages from a lot of people. They're doing it, and they're talking about it, and they love it. The YouTube page. You go and watch the show after the fact. A lot of people, they'll stream it 9 hours later. At night, they'll pour a little drink. They'll sit down on the couch. 3 hours of you and me just being dummies, having fun. And before you know it, we got a new best friend.
It's like a bubble bath for men, right?
Yeah.
Right? You can't pull a bath full of suds and the flower petals and the candles and stuff. Yeah, it's not
bubble bath for men.
Right?
What could that mean?
A nice glass of a good bourbon.
Are you saying that it's a bubble bath for you? Or is it for the listener?
It's for the it's the masculine equivalent of a bubble bath.
Oh.
Follow me along, okay? You're at a bonfire in the back of your property, right?
We're
That you
masculine.
cleared. Right, we're masculine.
Okay.
You're sitting by the campfire.
Why am I taking a bubble bath by the campfire? It's just like a Wyoming situation?
A woman would do
Is this
that.
glamping?
A woman would do that. For a man who can't pour himself a bubble bath with rose petals and candles. Like, I can't do that. Maybe you could do that. Maybe you're comfortable enough with your masculine and you could do that. I can't do that.
No, I'm not comfortable enough
I couldn't
to
do that. But I can sit by a campfire with a nice glass of, not the whole bottle, glass of bourbon.
Sure.
Nice shot, right?
Yeah.
Watching the show on YouTube.
Heck yeah.
Right? And I feel the same as if I had
a bubble bath.
A bubble bath, right? It's
Do you like
relaxing.
bubble baths? Is that
I
what
don't
we're learning?
know. I'm not allowed to know.
So
as a guy, I'm not allowed to know that.
When's the
pleasure.
last
time I had a bubble bath?
Hand to God.
Yeah.
When's the last time you had a bubble bath?
Probably about 4 years old.
Really?
Mr. Bubble.
Oh, you should get in a bath.
Cranked a whole bottle of Mr. Bubble in the tub at one time. Suds everywhere. It was like a Dennis the Menace rerun.
Do you know what
That's an old show for you kids.
Do you know what a bath says to me?
Your shower's broken?
Well, no. Yeah, maybe. No, but you have time. Like anybody who can sit down and take a bath.
The luxury
It's
of
the
time.
luxury of time.
Oh, that's brilliant.
It's the thing that we don't have. Also, it makes you think of like sexy things.
Is there a way to, I could have if I float wood chips in the tub, would that make it okay?
Would that make it more manly?
Yeah, if I had, maybe some industrial soap like that, like the orange hand soap. If I fill the tub up with orange hand soap,
yeah,
and
I
wood
think
chips
it would.
and satin, that kind of scrub the filth of a day off.
Nobody sees you in the tub. It's okay. You can put the rose petals in. No one has to know.
Okay, rose petals, orange hand soap, wood chips.
I think your wife would like it.
Would be like would they have
Not
to be
the
like
wood chips.
would they have to be like the kind of candles that kill bugs?
Sure.
You know,
Sure.
you know talking about the ones.
They can't smell it.
What are they called, Andrew?
The mosquito wristbands.
Yeah, the mosquito candles. What is that called?
The blah blah blah. I know. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's the blah blah blah.
Nate, can you help me out here?
It's
Throw
the
a
blah
brother
blah blah.
bone here.
Yeah, it's the candles with the bugs.
It's not kerosene.
Yes.
What kind of candles kills bugs? What do they call them?
Citronella.
Citronella. Right. It even sounds somewhat feminine. Okay, citronella candles.
I think
orange
the
hand soap,
takeaway is
rose petals, thorns
Spike in a-
too, because I'm a
spike in a
man.
bathtub.
I need a bubble. I've never needed a bubble bath more than I do right now.
Well, I hope you go and get that bubble bath,
going.
Spike.
Do we have a bathtub downstairs?
We do.
We have a shower.
We have a shower.
What if I stopped up the drain and let the room fill?
Sure. Yeah. Give it a try.
Boy, this is. We've wasted.
This
so
is not
much
what we
time.
plan on ending the
It's
show
not.
on, but I feel
By
like
the way, a robot can solve a Rubik's cube in 1.0 seconds.
No, it's 0.3
A third of a second.
Third of a second.
This robot menace is taking away the pleasure.
It's 0.1 second. Purdue
Right,
students.
a third of a second.
But who cares about that? Because you're in a bubble bath.
Right. Let's see a robot give me a bubble bath. That's what I want. Yeah,
tonight, Spike, I want you to go home.
Okay.
This is the homework for tonight.
Yeah.
Take a bath. It's lovely. You have grown kids. You're not
do.
doing
They're
anything in the evening.
They're gone. They're out of the house.
Why are you not taking a bath every night?
That's a fabulous idea.
Just go take a nice, luxurious bath. Get yourself some, you know what it is?
What?
For guys, it's not rose petals. Get yourself some grass clippings.
Oh, that's great. Yes.
You know what I mean? There's the manly
Right.
version.
Mow the
Go
lawn.
outside, mow the lawn.
Bag up
Get
the clippings.
into the tub
I like
with
it.
the clippings.
If I come in tomorrow with a green hue from my neck down, you'll know I had a great night thanks
I'll
to
say
you.
that's a manly bath.
Thanks to you, buddy.
Good for you.
I love it.
Sophia, you've done a great job today. Thank you so much for your help.
You're
Thank
awesome.
you. I've learned so much about masculine bubble baths.
Way
welcome.
more than you
You're
wanted to
welcome.
know. Way more
than
any
I
of us wanted
expect.
to know.
Yeah.
Not what I was thinking today.
Smoke some meat while I'm doing it.
Manly bath.
Yeah.
Manly bath with grass clipping. All right, we got a lot more coming up tomorrow. John Curley's coming up next. Make sure you listen to him. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Winners of 3 2025 Regional Edward R. Murrow Awards, including feature reporting.
The graffiti along Seattle roadways is the worst I've ever seen it. KIRO News Radio's Nate Connors and I set some parameters. I drove. Every click you hear is Nate counting a tag that defazes the public property you and I pay for.
We thank you. We are the Northwest leading news station because of you, inspiring us every day.
KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot doot, and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh yeah.
Then we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies the same item. Current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
Summer is on everyone's mind, and many of us ladies, well, you men too, would like to get rid of that extra stubborn fat and address those areas of loose